Good evening, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Three-ring circuses everywhere. Elephants, pigs, coyotes, goats, and whatever other animals you may have out there in the YouTube land. Hey, it's Dad Man Walking 55 coming to you 9 minutes after 9. Yes, we're a little bit late, but hey, we had a near tragic incident because well, it happens when you get involved into stuff and you forget what's going on. But hey, it's all good. We got all night to go. A lot of stuff. You never know. There might be party crashers and everything else. But hey, let me go ahead and salute everybody. Thank you all. Be proud of your nations out there. This is Olympics. Salute to all nations, but mostly America, as Sam the Eagle would say. As we celebrate the start of the 2026 Winter Olympics. And so after quoting Sam the Eagle from Muppets 3D, I'm going to bring in Sam the Eagle. Oh, well, it's actually Sam Woolf. Hey, Sam.
What? I was going to say, excuse me? No.
Squeeze me, as George R. Binks would say.
Yeah.
Anyway, how are you tonight, Sam?
I'm good. I'm frantically trying to pull up some pictures of the opening ceremony for you, but yeah. I think I found a few. Yeah. But no, I'm just really excited. I'm a total Olympics nerd. I grew up watching the Olympics, and I got out of the habit of watching the Olympics, and it's now hit or miss. I don't watch it as fervently as I used to, and that's just because there have been some Olympics that I just quickly got the vibe that it was not going to be family friendly, and I just didn't feel like
Paris.
Yeah, needless to say, we watched very little of Paris. We didn't watch the opening or closing ceremonies. Now I kind of, especially if there's a time difference, I will watch because they'll usually broadcast and then rebroadcast the opening ceremonies.
Right.
So, and of course, baby cuteness is trying to crash the stream. Of course.
She loves her dad, man, and her unicorn. So,
yeah, Bubba cuteness, you need to go find Sergeant Daddy. Bubba cuteness, Mama's busy. Yeah, y'all, this is my life. This is just my life.
Hey, but I tell you what, I wouldn't have anybody else here. Sam, you're awesome, and all. Well, you did that. I'll go ahead and talk to the chat. Let me greet the chat real quick. We got Fallout Dave leading off here. Look, how are you doing, Dave? Great to see you. Yes, Mrs. needs to check the fork knife shop tonight. I probably need to get on and check it myself. Although I bought Cartman, so I don't have many bucks. I got to wait till next month's 1,000 on the crew. Buddy Hepburn, how are you doing? Jinuskin and Popcorn Tears emote. Oh, that could be interesting. Buddy just lost, made it to the last three before the cheater lightning gun got me. Ugh. Yeah, sorry about that, dude. Sorry about that. Mrs. Dadman Walking 55, great to see you, sweetheart. How are you tonight? Hopefully you're doing well. And thank you for this lovely background that we've got. This has made the thumbnail that's gone out in tweets. So if you see the tweet, please like it and reshare it. I'd appreciate it. So, hey, but thank you for all your hard work, Mrs. As always. And Figgy plays. One of the best guests I've ever had on a Chillingwood stream. She's so modest, but she is a great talker and a lot of fun. Hey, but you make sure you catch her on mornings with about in the mornings, and also on Saturday at 3:00. Usually the big day with Fallsmeyer. But good to see you tonight, Figgy. How are you doing? Legatus, Legionize, welcome. We have the Canadian representation. Yay, Legatus. How are you doing? And everybody, all the hellos. All right, so that's everybody we got here. We got 7 here on the YouTube side. Please hit that like. Please subscribe. Get your neighbors, drunk donkeys, and everybody else. 34 away from 800. I got several the last few days, so we're up to 766. So please, let's try to get 800. We'll try to get Mrs. to 750, and we'll try to get the Figgy Plays to 1,000. So we'll all do that, working together. All right. When Sam's back, we'll let her start talking, because I'll let her talk about her, like she was going towards her love for the Olympics.
Okay, I'm back.
All right. Well, you were talking about your experience with go ahead. Sorry.
So I grew up with the Olympics, but then, it's been less than family friendly some years, so I've had to be a little bit more creative. But here's the thing: I wanted to talk to anyone who is not had a lot of chance to see the Olympics, and especially now that a lot of it's through streaming. If you go to NBC's website, there is, when you go to log in and stream, it'll give you a lot of different options. And a lot of people will think, oh, I don't have a Peacock account or whatever, I can't watch it. You can. You can if you've got a YouTube TV subscription, if you have Hulu, if you have Sling, if you have DirecTV. There's a lot of these different providers that have partnered with NBC. And so you can still watch it.
Oh, that's interesting. We have Sling TV, but we just got Peacock. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you had. Well, I found that out today, and I was trying to like tell Mrs. Dadman in the chat, but she was doing 5 things at once in her live stream today. I don't think she saw that one, but yes.
Well, needless to say, she might be working on it now as we're talking, and because that's interesting. More, it's like there's more cooperation among these streaming services these days, which is kind of good for everybody. By the way, let me say hi to Mr. Angel. He's listening. Might doze off again. Hey, what have I always said, Mr. Angel? I never am offended when you fall asleep to the sound of my sultry voice, like Mark D. and C and I playing late night Fortnite. If we put you to sleep, we're happy. But yeah, what is your first? Well, let me ask 2 parts of question. One,
okay,
when is your first year that you remember that you were introduced to the Olympics, like the first games that you remember, and do you prefer Winter or Summer Olympics?
I think the first, so this is the hard thing, because one of my memories is I know Winter Olympics, but the other one of my first memories was the Summer Olympics. So it had to have been, I know we watched both. One of my first memories was watching figure skating with my aunt. She let me, we got to stay up late and watch it. And, as a little kid, that's just a treat.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just so captivated by the artistry. And I feel like, and I'm going to get into my critique of figure skating later on. I feel like the sport of figure skating goes through cycles, and I caught it when it was very into artistry and showmanship and expressionism, and that really captivated me.
Right. Let's say real quick hi to Erica, who's in bed, who might just pass out at a moment's notice.
I love you.
It's like 3 a.m. over there.
Yeah, girly, the fact that you're still awake, I salute you. Totally salute.
She came on the Squirrel Stream last week or the week before at 3 o'clock in the morning. That was so awesome.
Although, personally, the more selfish side of me is like, go to bed so you're awake for my stream tomorrow. She's helping me with my book club.
She's a military wife. She can handle anything,
Dude,
my mother-in-law's, because my mother-in-law is great. She raised 5 kids, and you see what she is today. You tough ladies. But yeah, I'm sorry. But it was more of an arts history time. Was that probably what, the 90s or 80s?
No, yeah, it would have been the early 90s. It was far more artistry based. And then I feel like it's gone through more technical time periods. Then the other thing I remember is the Atlanta, Georgia Olympics. And I 96. Remember watching a lot of that with my mom and my aunt. I remember watching the opening and closing ceremonies. But then I remember, because we had been watching all the stuff about the Olympics, when there was some sort of concert thing in the park and there was that bomber.
Right.
And that terrified me as a kid. That was just like, holy crap, what? People do these sorts of things to why would anyone behave that way? It was so world shaking for me as a kid, not in a bad way, but just I feel like I never thought of the world as being random. I never considered that a random stranger would want to hurt other random strangers.
Right. Yeah. You were young then. I mean,
I was I was
an old fart 26 when that happened, because I remember vividly when that happened.
Yeah. And so I remember all the way up into high school, I remember buying VHS tapes for the Greek Olympics. I remember watching the Sydney Olympics. I remember there's a girl who competed in the Sydney Olympics who was still in high school, and she was in the same school district as me. And she made it to the Olympics and won a gold medal. And everyone was like, wait, we know this girl. Like, what the
Yep.
crap? It was just so weird. It was awesome, but really odd at the same time. And then the other thing was, I remember with the Greek Olympics being just, I went to the point where I bought VHS tapes and like I set them to record in the middle of the night. So then I would wake up early in the morning, and while I was eating breakfast, I would rewatch them because I didn't want to watch the recaps. I wanted to watch the whole thing.
Right.
And yeah, VHS tapes. That's how old I am, peoples. And that's how ghetto we were too. People had other things.
Hey, I remember being the remote control. That's how old I am.
Yeah. We still have a
So,
remote control. I still use that. But
no, I was the literal physical one. I had to get up and walk to the TV,
yeah,
turn
no,
the dials.
that's how we were when I was real littles. Yeah. So it's just been one of those things where it's just kind of always been something I do.
Mhm.
I've known coaches, I've known consultants, Olympic consultants, coaches. I've met and been acquainted with Olympians. Like, I'm not saying I'm besties with Olympians. I think the person
Right.
I'm closest with is a guy I went to college with who ended up becoming an Olympic consultant.
Mm.
And even that, like, we've kind of had kids and had lives. So like,
Yep.
I still know him and we're still friends. We're just, grown up.
Yeah.
So it's
Life
just one of
moves
those
on.
things where it's
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah.
And
So you don't really like summer better than a winter, or
no, I love them both. Like, I
Yeah.
could not even begin to tell you which one I liked better. I
Oh, wow.
couldn't even begin to tell you that because I just I love the Olympics.
Well,
It's
I'll tell you, the first Olympics that I ever remember
there's been
was
certain Olympics like Paris, not a
Yeah.
fan of.
No, not when you get floaters on swimmers' faces. That and everybody knew that was a train wreck coming. It's like putting World Cup in the middle of a desert too. But but one of the things that I remember, the first Olympics I remember was Innsbruck, Austria. The Winners' Games, I think it was in '76, probably. They the only and you know what's funny? The only it's not that I watched it or anything. I remember because the old ABC Wide World of Sports kept publicizing Innsbruck, Austria, so the name stuck in my head. Why, I don't know, but hey, maybe I could pronounce Austria names. We're going to have some tests on Italy tonight. So
we will have a little bit of an Italian pop quiz for you. I'm going to say straight up now, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I like challenges. I'm really good. You should hear my Russian sometimes. It's like, or even British. The British is worse than anything. I probably could get a German word here and there, but yeah, forget. The more I try the British, the worse it gets. Seriously. But shall we jump into it? This year we have the Winter Olympic Games. They first started in 1924, the Olympics in Chamonix, France.
Mm-hmm.
The modern Olympic Games were inspired by the ancient games back in Greece, well before in the BC areas, folks. So we had the first, and of course, the games have evolved over the years since their inception. Sports and disciplines have been added to some of them, and that's one thing that we'll talk a little bit about the sports. I mean, there's 16 events or 16. What is it, competitions? But then there are various disciplines within the competitions, right?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Because basically you could have like some speed skating, but you have different elements
different
to
distances, or the team versus individual versus relays and all that.
Mm-hmm. Some of the sports have actually been given some permanent spots. Some others, including curling and bobsleigh, have been discontinued and later reintroduced at different times. So others have been permanently discontinued, such as military patrol.
Yes. So you're gonna
the sport of biathlon is descended from it. But okay, go ahead.
No, that's the thing. The more you get, when you look at biathlon and you understand World War II, specifically the Nordic theater of World War II, the European Nordic theater, you will understand why that is a very military coded event.
Oh yeah, I know they use skis to transport themselves up there, and yeah, oh,
It's more than
but
just the use of skis, but we'll get there. Don't you worry, honey. I got
okay.
this all covered.
Oh wow, you're in your element. I can sit back and relax, but it's really interesting because they also mentioned that not just biathlon is a descendant, and we can cover it a little bit more later.
Mhm.
Formerly, ski mountaineering was part of the sport, which is actually one of the new
They're
events this
bringing
year.
back. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, God, buddy.
Okay, so I've
Yeah.
grabbed
Yeah.
3 photos from the opening ceremonies when
All
we
right.
get to that point.
All right, we will do that. The Olympic Games have been hosted on 3 continents by 13 countries, all of whom are in the northern hemisphere. Well, because I guess the other side of the world is summer. By the way, they've been held 4 times in the U.S. in 32, 60, 80, and 2002, 3 times in France in 24, 68, and 92, twice each in Switzerland, 28 and 48, Austria, 64, 76, Norway, 52 and 94, Japan, 72, 98,
And
Italy, 56.
Cortenza has hosted before.
Oh, really? Okay. Italy 56, 2006, and then again in 2026. It's hosted in 2 cities, Milan and uh, Cortina d'Ampezzo.
Cortenza, yeah, Cortina de Hapenzo.
Cortina
See,
d'Ampezzo.
I've heard so many different pronunciations on the last little bit. My brain is now freaking out, and I'm like, I'm saying it wrong. So anyway,
So it's not just me then. Yeah,
well,
it's
my problem is like I know how to say it, and I know how to pronounce it properly, but then when I hear people pronounce it
it
improperly,
throws
my
you off.
brain
Yeah,
starts to like second guess itself
yeah, I can
because I'm
understand
still
that.
an American, as Italian as I am. I'm still American.
Yeah, you got a good Italian accent, but yeah, some of us, getting the South can really throw you off. But it's Cortina d'Ampezzo.
Most people are just keeping it to Cortina because it's easier to say.
Well, I like the challenge. I'm dad man, so
You do that. But yes,
exactly.
so Cortina has hosted before.
Yeah. Oh,
It was
really?
back in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
So
56, the 56 games. Yeah.
and I think it's interesting that they put Milan Cortina,
Mm-hmm.
even though there's actually 4 cities hosting
Oh,
the event.
really?
Yeah.
I've only heard about the 2. Well, we can definitely talk about that as we get into it. Canada has had it in 88 and 2010. I would have thought they'd had it more often. And they've been held once in Germany, Yugoslavia. I remember that in Sarajevo in 84, Russia in 2014,
Mm-hmm.
South Korea 2018, and China 2022. And of course, like you mentioned, Milan and Cortina d'Ampezzo host the 2026 Winter Olympics. So they're usually held in February of each year, which is the winter season of North America. As of 2024, and of course now 2026, no city in the Southern Hemisphere has applied to host the Winter Olympic Games in the month of August. That would be weird to have. Well,
Yes, that has happened.
Because what's interesting is now that they don't do the winter and summer in the same years.
Yeah, they don't.
I could see it being allowed to have winter games in August, in the Southern Hemisphere. I could see it. In the year when they were both the same year, there's no way you could have games in June and June or July, whatever it is, and August. It's too close together.
Well, and also it hurts fundraising because then there are going to be people who want to fund both, or organizations that want to fund both, but they can't. And so it cuts down the amount of funding they can get. So spreading it out, so it's every 2 years, helps with funding, helps with training, helps with promotion, a lot of other things. So, for example, I believe Ralph Lauren exclusively produces the uniforms, clothing, and equipment stuff for the U.S. Olympic team, although I know Adidas has helped at times, but like the primary stuff that they wear for the opening ceremonies is usually Ralph Lauren. It's harder for companies to do that if they're having to do 2 big things in 1 year. They usually drops the amount of the quality of what they produce because that cuts down on their write-off. It's basically a write-off. But if you spread it out so it's every other, then they can zhuzh it up a little bit more. Okay, so do you want me to tell you about the 4 different cities that are hosting actually?
Let me finish this real quick,
Okay,
and we will get there. The as of 2022, 12 countries participated in every winter game. Austria, Canada, Finland, France, Great Britain, Hungary, Italy, Norway, Poland, Sweden, Switzerland, and the United States.
Yep.
Also, Czechoslovakia participated in all Winter Olympic Games before its dissolution, but its successors, the Czech Republic and Slovakia, have participated in all Winter Games thereafter. 6 of them have won medals at every game: Austria, Canada, Finland, Norway, Sweden, and the United States. The only country to have won a gold medal at every Winter Olympic Games is the United States. And we're going to talk about medal counts and stuff later by countries a little bit later. So, a predecessor was the Nordic Games, organized by General Victor Gustav Balk. Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just agreeing. Keep going.
Okay. All right. Cool. And so that's the precursor to what we know as the modern Olympics. I'm going to skip a lot of the histories from there because we got a lot to cover tonight.
We got tons to cover.
Yeah. So this year we're coming 2026. Obviously, we mentioned about the host cities in Italy. Officially, there are 2, but there are apparently 4 places where they're going. Now, Sam, if you want to go ahead. Oh, here real quick. Mr. Angel said he visited the Sarajevo facilities after the war. The Olympic Stadium was a giant graveyard. You know what, though, Mr. Angel? That happens everywhere. I remember after Brazil got the Summer Games, constant reports about every abandoned stadium left behind.
I'm going to clap back on that just a slight bit.
Okay.
Not every place does that. Most of the problem is a lot of the modern places build temporary structures. They don't pump in actual full electrics or full water or full facilities. And so they're non-usable facilities afterwards. Right. And they only bring in vendors to do those things during because they waste their money on the VIPs. Salt Lake was one of the few places that didn't do that. And I'm not what you can love, hate them. Wish he had never existed, but Mitt Romney saved the Salt Lake Olympics. He stepped in and he said, no, we're not doing that. We're building permanent structures so they can be a long-term benefit to the area. And because of that, to this day, we even have Olympians who their families moved them to Park City because they had the full Olympic facilities to train. Lake Placid also still has Olympic facilities that are functional and usable. So the U.S. is one of the few places, not all the places in the U.S., but a few places in the U.S. are the few ones that have invested in permanent infrastructure. And so a lot of athletes from all over the world train in the United States because we have functional facilities.
And that makes sense. But I do know that reports out of Brazil, like they were the ones where that's like, it's just abandoned. It's just, and you got rundown houses and everything and stuff, but you got a stadium there.
Greece did the same thing. You would think that Greece would have taken more pride and built permanent structures, but they didn't.
Well, maybe the state of New Jersey could have it because the Clown Prince of New Jersey's here. Wes Cagle. Hey, West.
I'm sorry, but I don't think New Jersey the corruption would be so bad.
Well, it would look like a rundown Hoboken or something, but hey, Wes says, I was going to take up curling, but I don't even sweep the floors at home. I'm not sweeping in a hockey rink. Good to see you, West. All right. So now tell us about the 4 host cities.
Okay.
And if you want to go ahead and talk about the opening ceremonies that you noticed, go ahead.
Okay. So the 4 host cities this time, the primary one is Milan. Milan is the urban hub. It's got the figure skating, ice hockey, sports rinks, those sorts of things. Cortina is going to have the major alpine venues, a lot of the skiing and sledding events. Livorno is an alpine resort, and it'll be hosting some of the freestyle skiing and snowboarding. And then Borromino is got the classic alpine skiing and will be doing like alpine ski races and things like that. So probably more like the biathlon and those sorts of things. So all of those, Milan, Cortina, Livorno, and Borromino will all be hosting different events. And that's because, and this is something we're going into opening ceremonies. I'm going to pull up a few images I grabbed. Oh, please tell me right here. Okay. Are you?
There we go.
Okay. So these are a couple of images I pulled from the opening ceremonies. Ignore this one right now, but when we got to the Parade of, well, actually, here, I'll talk about this. And when we get to the Parade of Nations, I'll address the four cities and what happened.
Okay.
So I really loved what Italy did was it leaned into its culture, its heritage. Milan is known for fashion and art and music and all these things. And they really celebrated that. This was supposed to be a composer. They started off with like the classical bus and like people in Greco-Roman, like toga sort of things. And it was very, if you're not into impressionistic, like music and art and stuff, like dance, it might have been a little abstract for you. But I will admit the music notes in the center here took me a hot minute to figure out those were music notes. So I don't think that costume design was particularly stellar. As a former costume designer, I think people should be able to tell what you're doing when you do it. But I really loved this with the paint and all of these different colorful costumes. When you got to see them a little closer, they were like different places in Italy, like they had, and different things from Italian culture. They had like Roman soldiers, they had medieval, they had like Renaissance periods, they had a lot of different periods of Italian history and culture. And a lot of people think of Italy and they think of it as this established country that's been around since Roman times, that it's this ancient country that is set in stone and it's been what it's been forever, and it's not. Italy has been a very turbulent place. It's not as unified and as consistent as people think. In fact, modern Italy is almost 100 years younger than the United States. Modern Italy finally finished its reunification in 1870. And so
Wow.
this is a huge deal for Roman culture to show how, yeah, we okay, we might have fought each other literally. Like the Italian city states were fighting each other all through the Middle Ages, Renaissance. Like there was all sorts of. Have you heard of Machiavelli? There's a reason why that man wrote a book. So, like this represents a unification of history, culture, art, music, and I really love that. I'm still devastated Andrea Bocelli didn't make an appearance, but that's because I'm a hardcore Italian fan of his. So, but I love this. I thought this was really well done. There were other points where I was sitting like there was the musical number after this. It was supposed to demonstrate in an abstract way the unification of nature and city and culture. And yes, those themes are prevalent in Italian culture, but they're just the way they did it was not fabulous. It was so bad they had to actually literally narrate it for you. And that's just to me a failure of artistry. It should have been, if you're doing a pageant like this, people should be able to understand what they're watching on some level. You shouldn't have to tell them.
Right.
So, but that's the thing. Italy is very, very attached to its nature, to its climate, its culture. But it's also we've been building things. I mean, oh my goodness, Rome is built on top of Rome, which is built on top of Rome. Like we've been building, tearing things down and building on top of them for hundreds and hundreds and at least 1,000 years. And so there's the city and nature really are the harmony and the fusion of the two really are a very pivotal part of Italian identity. So I get why they put that one in, but I like this one better. This one was so much better. And then they did the Parade of Nations, and I don't have a picture of this, but they did the Parade of Nations in 4 different locations.
Mm-hmm.
And that really upset some people. And I get that. You have every right to think that's upsetting. I happen to know from people who've been in the Olympics that one of the things that they look forward to the most as athletes and as coaches is being in the Parade of Nations. Like that is the moment. That is the thing, like competing and maybe the podium. Those are the things they want to achieve. That's their bingo card. And if your event is early the next day, you don't get to do the Parade of Nations typically. Because transportation to the venue, you need to get sleep, all sorts of stuff. And missing out on that is just devastating. I know somebody who competed in the Olympics and they missed their first Parade of Nations and they were just really disappointed because that's what they wanted to do. And so when they did the 4 Parade of Nations, that allowed for all of the athletes to participate in the different cities that they were in so that they weren't. And here's the other thing, ever since Roman times, Italians aren't known for their roads. Okay, this is winter, this is mountains, and these are teeny little roads. If you're going to have to get a whole bunch of people from point A to point B really quick, that could be, that could cause some issues. And so that they're not having to worry about rushing their athletes from one place another and maybe running into problems,
right,
missing events or getting into accidents. It's just safer for this, and it allows all of the athletes to participate. And as much as the audience likes to think it's all about us, it's not. It's about the athletes too. So that's my 2 cents on that with the 4 different.
So in the 4 different locations with the Parade of Nations, do they split countries up like half or like a quarter each location, or is where every country is represented at every location, or do they?
No, so whatever. So if all of if all your country was only competing in one venue, then your whole country marched together in that venue. But if your country was in 2 venues, then they would show the 2 venues. They would show one and then the other. They would cut to the other venue. If they were in all 4, they would cut to all 4 simultaneously. So they'd say the USA in Milan, the USA in Cortina, the USA in Livorno and Borromeo, and they would just they'd go around. But they would cut from one location to another, whichever one. There was one country that had like I think 2 athletes in each location. They cut to all of them. They also talked about the people who designed the different costumes. I love how they had an Olympian doing part of the commentary, and he was talking about how they'll swap gears with other people. They'll like something. They're like, the hat the Brazilians had, they're like, that's really cool. Personally, I love the jacket they had because they opened it up and it had the Brazilian flag inside. So it was like a white puffer jacket, but then you open it upside and it's got the Brazilian flag. I thought that looked cool. But they'll swap gear. They'll be like, here, I'll give you my gloves. Can I have your hat? And because like it's swapping things, trading is a huge part. Trading pins, trading gear. That's a huge part of Olympic culture for those who go and attend it. I have friends who attend the Olympics and they collect the pins and they have a whole Olympic pin collection.
Isn't it part of the international culture? Because, I mean, don't soccer teams, don't they exchange jerseys sometimes after matches?
Yes, exactly. That is. Okay. And so that really is, I've got a friend who competed in the Olympics for another country, immigrated to the U.S. and now has worked on a U.S. side, but when he was working in the other country, the U.S. team was super nice and was like, doing stuff with him too. And so they are very like, this really is a great place to build relationships and friendships. Don't worry. It's also a great place to build rivalries. Don't think that's all fun and games. There are people who kind of get snarky. So, but then this is where the last picture I want to share is this. Vice President J.D. Vance and his wife also have been attending. And I think it's really great when representatives of the government can be there to support the people who are participating. And I personally love this because the Vice President Vance is former military. He's a veteran. And we're going to be talking about all of the service members who are competing. So
yes, we are.
It's going to be really cool that he's going to be there as the vice president, and he will get to support or say hi to these active duty, in many cases, these military service members who are also representing our country in the Olympics. So I love that.
A couple comments we got. Mrs. said, "What that part of some of that, I guess, was artsy fartsy."
There was some artsy fartsy. I get some of the costume designs. I don't get all the costume designs.
Yeah, but she does also agree with you. The end was very confusing to the event. Even after I knew what was supposed to, even after I knew what it's supposed to represent, my least favorite part of the program. I guess the end of it.
But anyway, that's it for now. You can take off that slide.
Okay.
I'm going to start prepping my next presentation.
Yeah, the Parade of Nations division upset her until she realized the reasoning to include all the athletes.
Yeah, it's to include all the athletes. It's for safety reasons. So I get why it's less impactful, but it's more practical.
I don't know about this story, but she said she remembers a story. Must be from a previous Olympic. The Russians changed their fur hats for something else, so they did not trade them. Yeah, could be possible. Yeah, because there's an ultimate. When I talk about list of countries, I've got something on that too this year. Oh, Figgy Play says, fun fact: Olympic pin collector is the reason we pin trade at Disney. Nice.
Mm-hmm. I have some Olympic pins. I've got a lot of other Olympic gear. Like I've said, I have a friend who she's quite the Olympic pin collector.
Mass dancing and costuming with the bodysuits was strange.
Yeah, I will give you, not all of it was my taste either. I understand a lot of it just because of my background in theater, production, dance, and all of that. I think I can grasp a lot of why they did what they did more than the average person. I still don't think all of their decisions would be how I would do it if I was given that assignment.
Absolutely. Okay. Are you prepping a thing with the military right now?
Yep, I've got it if you're ready.
Okay. Well, we'll hold off on that just a little bit longer because we talked about countries. Let me go ahead and do countries, and then we'll do that after the country. Then we'll talk about the events themselves. So, how many countries are in the Olympics? The full list of 2026 Winter Games participants, courtesy of USA Today. And do you know who's led the medal table for the last 3 consecutive Winter Olympics?
I'd say U.S. or Canada.
Norway.
Norway
has led.
Good job, Norway. Good on you. Good on you.
Yeah, dating back to 2014, the U.S. last led the medal table at the event in 1932, which is lone cycle. Yeah, I mean the U.S. You would have thought after the collapse of the Soviet Union that would have been U.S. But
the thing is, with America, we do winter sports, but not like some of these other places where winter is like half their year.
Yeah, I was standing outside last night shivering on trying to talk to somebody. They're like, oh. But yeah, I was like cold. And my cold is like 32 degrees. And you laugh at that, I'm sure. But there are 93 countries participating in this year's Olympics, including more than 3,500 athletes, according to the Olympics official website. They'll be competing for a very limited number of honors, though, which I always found is striking. You still have a big number of countries, but you have fewer events and medals to win than the Summer Games. 195 total medals across 16 Olympic disciplines, which we'll talk about the sports and the disciplines a little bit later. What is interesting this year is that, you just got to admit it. Politics is always in any international event and stuff, and it happens. We've had the U.S. boycott of the Russian Olympics in 1980 because of the invasion of Afghanistan. Yep. Then we had the return favor for the 84 USA Olympics from the Soviet Union. This year, Russia and Belarus will compete. Any athletes from Russia and Belarus will compete in the games as AIN, individual neutral athletes. Why isn't that Ian instead of AIN? But since the two countries are banned from the International Olympic Committee due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, those athletes will not represent their country, but rather themselves. Have we ever seen this before?
Yes, that actually happened in the last Olympics in Paris. And I believe it happened because it was ever since the Ukraine invasion by Russia. This has been they were sanctioned by the International Olympic Committee, the IOC, and that sanction has not been lifted and won't be lifted until Russia withdraws from its active pursuit of Ukrainian soil. Yeah. Until there's a resolution, Russia's banned.
Yeah. I
And
did
because
see.
Belarus sided with Russia,
Right.
Belarus is also banned.
I saw something today because we're talking about doing stuff for FIFA World Cup later in the year that they're talking about maybe lifting that ban, but that's we'll have to keep an eye on that to see what happens with that down the
Yep.
road.
Vamos a ver.
Um, let's see. I don't know. I do not know if the North Koreans have had participants in the Olympics.
Yes, the
They
North
have.
Koreans
Okay.
do. It has been limited, but they do.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if they participate in the Winter Olympics. I don't believe they do. They have participated in the Summer Olympics.
Right.
Um, I know this because when they do participate, they usually send a large contingent of paid cheerleaders
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
to cheer because citizens are not allowed to go and no one else is going to cheer for North Korea.
Nope. Nope. Well, hey, let's hit the full list. Well, I'm not going to read off the whole list. We know there's 93 countries. I'm going to do the ones with larger numbers. If there's a country like Albania only has 4, Andorra, which is just like a little circle
I know, right?
on Spain, that's 7 people. Argentina has 8. But look at the larger countries. Australia, not the breakdancing. That's I guess I don't think Australia was winner of games, but 53 athletes that they send.
Mm-hmm.
Austria, which you expect, 116. Belgium, for Mr. Angel out there, 30. Benin in Africa has 1.
Benin.
Wow. Bolivia has 1. Uh, Brazil has 14. Bulgaria, 20. Canada, 207.
Mm-hmm.
China has 125. Not as many as I thought would think, but that's interesting. Colombia has 1. Go ahead.
A lot of those individuals who are competing as the only representative of their country, if you look into their bios, they will typically live in Europe or the United States or Canada, and they will train there. And they will be originally from, that's their birth nation. And so they will compete on behalf of their birth nation, although it is no longer their nation of residence.
Okay. Well, that's very interesting to see how they do that. Some of these countries, you wouldn't think that they'd be hospitable to training for Olympics winter sports specifically.
Well, that's because they probably live in the U.S. where they can train.
Exactly. All right. The Czech Republic, has 115. That surprised me. Denmark, 39. Finland, 101. France, 157. Germany, 184. I keep going back to East Germany, West Germany in my brain, but hey, the Great Britain, the UK only has 53 athletes. Wow, that seems interesting to me. Hungary has 15. The INA, the individual neutral athletes from Belarus and Russia, have 20 athletes. 4 from Iran. Italy, the host country, has 196 athletes, the same number as Japan at 196. Kazakhstan, 36. Latvia has 67. Liechtenstein, why? Because I like to say Liechtenstein, 7. Lithuania has 17. Sashi, where's Sashi? There. Hey, look. He just.
Woo, Sashi, you're just in time. We're talking about your wonderful people.
You got 1. Malaysia has 1 participant in this year's Olympics.
And Sashi, they probably live in the U.S., but we love them anyway.
Yes, exactly. Yes. They may have been in the last Olympics. Yeah, Jamaica. Let's see who Jamaica has 6 this time, so that's probably at least a bobsled team.
That's probably a 2-man and a 4-man bobsled team.
It could be, yeah. Let's see. Portugal has 3 exactly, buddy. Madagascar has 2. Yes. Looking at Netherlands has 39. New Zealand, the Kiwis have 17. I guess there's a North Macedonian. Not to be confused with Macedonia, has 4. Norway has 80. Look at that. Norway, the medal counts, and yet they only have 80 athletes.
Well, so that's, yeah. We'll get into that.
Poland has 59.
Dude, Poland has a fantastic female figure skater who you need to watch. She is, oh my gosh. I watched her team short program and I was stunned. It reminded me of the 90s. I loved it.
West, I agree with this question. I do agree with this question. Maybe we could hit it on a squirrel stream one night if we want to do it. But yeah, that's slippery slopes. I tell you, treat everybody. Yeah, I'm the spirit of the question. I do understand. San Marino have any competitors? Yes, they have one.
San Marino, really? Wow.
Yes, they have one. They're not part of the Italian.
No. San Marino is its own country, just like the Vatican City is. But Vatican City didn't send anyone because I'm pretty sure the Cardinals don't do sports.
Well, come on. You got to send the new Pope. He's younger than the last one, you know?
Hey, the prophet of our church, our last prophet, he was still skiing until he was 90.
Well, there you go. There you go. It's just an age. Singapore, Sashi, also for you, Singapore has won.
Woohoo!
Yay. Slovakia 53, Slovenia 37, South Korea 71, Spain has 20, España, Sweden has 110, Switzerland 175, Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean 6, Ukraine has 45, and the United States has 232 athletes there. Yes.
So every host country, if I remember right,
look at Mrs. Look at the misses. So
yes, go Team Malaysia.
Sorry, West one has one from Monaco. No, they're not part of the French team.
No, Monaco is its own principality.
Hey, Daisy made it! Yay! That's my friend Daisy. We met her in real life and attended her son's wedding. I love it. Her and her husband love the Olympics. So yes, she said to Mrs. Yes, North and South have sent a unified women's hockey team to Winter Olympics. So, that's.
I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. Things are a little more touchy now, but
yeah.
So,
but yeah,
host countries typically get the opportunity.
Sorry, I'm so sorry, Sashi. I'm sorry, whoever you are. Sashi killed me with this one for the Winter Olympics.
Oh yeah, it would be totally weird if they were training in Malaysia.
Oh gosh. Yes, all right. Oh, well, wait a second. Is a Singaporean athlete the same sport and category as a Malaysian? If yes, there's going to be a beef.
I'm actually not sure. We'll have to look that one up.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up. Go ahead and talk, and I'll see if I can find something.
So host nations are given a benefit. I'm not sure if this is all host nations or just less established host nations. Like, I don't know if the U.S. gets this deal, but I know Britain did. But every host nation is allowed one, like they make every sport. Like they qualify for every finals. So to qualify in the Olympics, you have to go through these qualifying rounds and you have to get through, and they like pick the top 20 or the top 10 or whatever. When you are the host nation, you get an automatic spot to qualifying to the finals. And they also get money to help build up their programs and train athletes in sports that they did not previously have. So that really has been a boost to England. England was able to improve their bicycling and their gymnastics. And when they hosted the Olympics, Brazil was able to really beef up their gymnastics program and other ones. They're now actually competitors in world competitions because of the assistance they got by hosting the Olympics. So Italy is going to have a large representation because they are the host country. They will have qualifiers for every event. Now, I'm going to tell you this straight up. Just because you automatically qualify because you're the host nation, don't mean you're going to make it into the actual finals. You're not going. You probably won't make it into medal contention unless you can really kick butt and take names. So,
right. Yeah. Basically, where was it? Sashi asked, a Singaporean athlete in the same sport and category as a Malaysian. Well. It looks Sashi. It's possible because I'll just bring them up. I'm not sure how to drill down to the actual sport because there are disciplines. But hey, here's the Malaysian Arwing Salahuddin.
Mm-hmm.
Is a skier, looks like, for alpine skiing from Malaysia. And in
Okay.
Singapore, we got alpine
Alpine
skiing.
ski.
Singapore
And they
alpine
look like
skier
they're rolled down the hill. They look like they might be the same discipline too.
Faiz Basha pushes for there you go. Sasha, you can start it in your country. Have your country all look at it and start a beef, and we'll have the Malaysia Singapore Olympic war between them. Who finishes higher?
We'll have the Sashi. You'll have to tell us how the showdown goes.
Exactly. We do that. I love that. That is really, really cool. So, Fallout Dave, you're just too cynical these days. So,
oh my gosh, no. I will tell you this as someone who loves the Olympics, the corruption in the IOC is not a joke. It is legit. They make the mafia look like unorganized crime.
Oh, and it's in Italy too this year. How about that?
Yeah.
But you can't refuse. Sorry,
dude. I'm not gonna even touch that. I
don't blame you. Sashi did let the internet flaming commence then. Yes.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, Sashi, that should get entertaining. You'll need to keep us apprised of how heated that goes.
Exactly. We love it. And yeah, you should have. Were you not around? The misses with the the logo was bad. You should have seen the mascot with the eye. Ugh,
oh my
that
gosh.
was crazy. Yep. But yes, great question, Sashi. We that was really, really interesting. So,
right.
Okay, further with the countries that we've got, we talked about the different. And if anybody wants to know any more about any of the other countries, let me know. Yeah, it's really interesting. This has got to be India. They put Indiana on the website. Get USA Today.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana broke off from the U.S. No, but it should be India, I would imagine, with 2 athletes. Hong Kong actually sent 4 separate from China, which I found interesting. But let's take a look.
Yeah,
it is interesting. You would think that they would have been.
I wish Hong Kong was separate, but that's a whole nother. Yeah, we're just gonna keep going there.
I know. That's the thing. Well, it's like it help people sometimes in like the sports world. You can't keep all politics out. So
no, you can't.
It just happens. I mean, and like even like taxpayer funded stadiums, stuff like that. It's still politics, but hey.
Oh yeah, no. So here's the thing: the Olympics are meant to be a way for everyone to compete and interact internationally without war, and to be a friendly competition amongst nations. Supposed to be friendly and are friendly, may not always exist in the same space.
Nope.
So.
Well, Tina said, let's go Canada. Welcome, Tina. How are you tonight? Good to see you.
Let's go Canada unless it's hockey. Then no.
There you go. That's the spirit. Okay, Canada. Daisy, Ireland and England. I'm not surprised. By the way, the British have 53, as I said, and Ireland has 4 there.
Yeah.
I see Iceland has 4 also, which you would think would be more. But although the other day it was colder in Florida than it was Iceland.
Iceland is underpopulated compared to a lot of these other countries, and it also doesn't have the same facilities, and it doesn't actually, because of the way the currents or everything goes, it's actually not as snowy and cold as Greenland.
This comment with Sashi he comes up with the best lines, and it just has me thinking, like,
oh my gosh, are we even going to go there right now?
I don't know why ski jumping specifically, but
honey, the article you showed me.
Oh no, I forgot all about it.
Yeah, hun.
Yeah, I forgot. You have a good evening, Miss Angel.
Anybody who doesn't know, I call everyone hun.
Our honey buns, our sweetheart.
Yeah, our sweetheart. Like we were stationed in the South for so long, and those sensibilities really match with the Italian culture. So they just kind of latched into my personality, and I just use them still.
Have a good night, Mr. Angel. Thank you. You can watch the replays too later, but hey, I know it's at least 6 o'clock over there for
Yeah.
him.
Okay.
Get some rest. Okay.
Are we jumping into the world-class athlete program or
We
sports?
will do after this. There's one other thing I wanted to do with the countries real quick that we
There's
have.
so much to cover.
I know there is. I know that. Patience, Beavis. Patience, Beavis.
Dude, really?
Yeah, it gotta be. Okay. I got so many graphics. I gotta get it on the right screen though. All right. Um, we mentioned earlier that Norway has won the last three in terms of total medal counts. I'm going to let's see. I'm going to put a poll. Do I put a poll or not? Who would you think would be in the history of the Winter Olympics? Who do you think would be have the most medals by country? I mean, like the most total
Russia.
medals. You think Russia?
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting how it's counted. The Soviet Union has 194.
Well,
and the modern day Russia is
Soviet Union plus
121.
Russia.
What's that?
I'm meaning the Soviet Union plus Russia.
I know. Well, they officially consider Soviet Union a defunct nation along with East and West Germany. But combined, they would only have about 315, which put them third on the list.
Okay.
Norway, again, leads
Totally
with 405 medals in 24 Olympic Games.
I don't think you understand how many of the Olympic sports are just things people do in Norway on a Tuesday.
Oh, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt Mrs. Thought China. I don't doubt that. That's where they had advantage, and they could send only 70 athletes and still, win a lot of stuff though. Sashi, we might. Who knows? But we're gonna put a tea and crumpet kind of spin on it. Oh my! All right.
Yeah, Sashi.
Yeah.
Everyone kept bringing it up, and finally I looked at it. I'm like, oh. Yeah. Well, cheater's gonna cheat. That's just all I gotta say.
Exactly. And Dave said Nordic teams generally are really good at winter sports.
Yep.
So who do you think would be second considering?
I would say Canada or Finland.
Nope, the United States.
Oh yeah. I believe
330. Followed by, this one surprises me. Germany is third. Considering that East Germany and West Germany are considered defunct nations.
Yeah.
I mean, in only 13 games, but see, the other two countries only were around in 6 Olympic Games. So then, of course, we might not be able to hold the floodgates back at some point. Tina said Canada is usually pretty strong in women's hockey. Yeah, and even men's hockey is pretty good. But yeah, I tell you, don't dismiss female sports, people. No. Some of the best sports I've seen are played by women. I like women's college basketball. I like women's fast pitch softball.
I'm gonna just be honest. I think women's hockey is fun.
Yeah.
I was watching it with Baby Cuteness earlier today. She got super into it.
Oh, I bet.
Just like she does with football. That's exactly how she was acting. She was cheering them on. She got all excited. Somehow she understood that better than she did figure skating. We switched to figure skating. She's like, can we go back to other... like she wanted to watch hockey again until I started explaining it to her, and then she got into it.
Yep. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's... they messed up their graphic on this thing. I just realized. I think they sorted it by gold is what they did, not by total. Ugh.
They did.
Yeah. So technically, the Russia is actually lower. Germany is third at 267. Austria is fourth with 250. Canada overall medals of 250, 225.
Yeah. I knew Canada would be up there.
Yeah. Mrs. made a little logo for me with a bronze medal. As a kid growing up, I liked the bronze medal. It was so much cool. I hated silver and gold. I like that bronze.
I've always liked bronze better too. As a color, I've always liked bronze.
Oh, well,
I mean, if I want an Olympic medal, it's going to be gold.
Well, we keep agreeing like this. Oh, we're all in trouble, folks. But that's cool. Sweden with 176 total medals. Uh, Russia is technically 10th with gold at 47. Then we got Finland at 45 golds. Italy, the host nation, has 141 medals in 24 Olympic Winter Games, 42 gold.
Yeah, people keep forgetting we have these things called Alps in northern Italy.
Yep.
My family is southern Italian, so the whole concept of skiing down a mountain or like hiking through a mountain totally blows my brain.
Yep.
But northern Italians, that's literally Tuesday.
Yep. I bet. Yeah, like we talked about the Nordics. For the misses, South Korea has 33 gold, 79 medals overall in 19 games. China has 22 gold and 77 medals overall. I mean, low comparative. Which you think maybe a big country like China with their resources that they would have available. And Japan has 17 gold, 76 medals in 23 games. And the British, wow, Daisy, I mean, I'm kind of, man, the Brits, you would think, I would have thought the Brits would have been a little bit better, but only 12 golds and 34 medals in 24 games.
They don't have a lot of mountains or snow or ice.
Yeah, but they're close to Europe. I would think that they could hop over to the Alps and stuff like that.
And the few that do that, but you have to be rich to do that.
Yeah. Yay, go Korea, Mrs. said. Tina said it sometimes annoys me they have to win gold and bronze. Put a lot of times a loser in the gold round gets handed the silver, so you're getting rewarded for losing. Well, you really don't look at it as losing in that match. So you're second, but hey, at least you've earned that much. Third place is a prize.
In many of these cases, they made it to the freaking Olympics to represent their country. That's the win.
Sashi said skiing down a mountain would seem more preferable than falling down one. Well, we got a new sport that's coming up. We kind of touched on a little bit earlier. Doing it.
If it's me, no matter how I try, it's going to be following. I
don't. Do you know much about the Paralympics?
I know a lot about the Paralympics typically, but I have not researched it for this Olympics.
Well, if you can touch on it to some degree of what you do know, because Daisy.
Yes, please.
Daisy, so feel free to throw it in whenever you want to.
Paralympics, I'm just going to give it to you right now. Paralympics are the Olympic sports in which the people who are participating are all disabled in some way, shape, or form. Some are visible, some are non-visible disabilities. For case in point, maybe they don't have a leg or an arm, or they are deaf or something like that. In other cases, they could have severe autism or something like that. So there's a difference between the Paralympics and the Special Olympics, though. So Paralympics means that they're still able to compete at a higher level. Special Olympics is more for like Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, people who it's a lower level of competition. Paralympics is takes place just after, but in conjunction to the normal Olympics. Oftentimes, the world-class athlete program, which I will be touching on, will have Paralympians who are veterans who are participating. This time around, we do not have any Paralympians, but it is really very fun to see. You think that skiing downhill is hard with 2 legs? Try watching someone do it with 1. Like, you think playing hockey is challenging? Now do it without do it like not with impairments, physical impairments. So my father happens to actually be good friends with a Paralympic archer, and he only has 1 arm, and he actually pulls back the string with his mouth.
Oh man.
And he's super talented. Like, I love archery. This guy with 1 arm kicks my butt every day of the week. He's also older than me. So, yeah, just because they have a physical limitation doesn't mean they're not in better shape than me.
No, yeah. That's That is interesting. You know, because those Olympics usually take place within a couple months after the.
No. It's usually within a week. Like they happen
Oh,
like right after. They
okay, it
use the
is
same
right.
facilities and everything.
Oh man, have you
So
ever
literally,
watched those? Or do they have as many events? Or I know that they kind of have to
they don't
change them a little bit.
typically have as many events because it largely is dependent upon participation and people who can qualify.
Hmm.
In the winter sports specifically, I'm not sure that there's as many Paralympic athletes, um, but they they still do have it, and it'll be so literally the normal Olympics will wrap up, and literally like that day the Paralympics will start.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. By the way, I just put in a poll for y'all to vote in. Which country? Of course, I can't pull it up in here. Hey, Fallsmeyer, where are you? Hey, there's Fallsmeyer. Fallsmeyer, good to see you. How are you doing, dude? Great to see you. Figgy's here too, or was earlier, but hey. So Daisy, I think near and dear to their hearts. They
Yep.
watched the Paralympics too, so that's awesome. No snow break dancing, Tina. No, of course you're a dragon. You'd
Hey,
melt the.
there is such thing as ice dancing, and I don't think the Australians qualified.
No, please, no. They ruined it. But hey, did the poll is the poll out there? I put a poll out in the chat. I thought so, folks. If
Figgy
y'all
pudding.
Fig, that's what I always think of figgy pudding. I know, I really do. Did the poll get out on the YouTube side? I swear I put a poll out there.
Let me check for you.
Thank you. I don't see it. Oh no, there it is. There it is. Now I see it. It's just took a while to get there. So, folks, which country was the last medal leader? Not gold, but just overall medal leader before Norway. Norway has won the last three Olympics. So 22, 18, and 14. So this goes back to 2010. So which
My turn.
country?
My turn.
Huh?
Is it my turn to talk about one of my things? I'm just teasing.
Yeah, it's almost here. Yeah, it was here. Claimed the poll. Yes, metal eater. That can't be good for the team. No, not a. What's a poll? Oh gosh, what a chat. Okay, all right. Yes, thank you guys. Thank y'all so much. All right. Now, with the being the countries, we've got history of the medal leaders. Is there anything? I'm going to show the graphic real quick, and let me have your observations. Then we'll get ready to switch over to your area. But is there anything that jumps out at you as odd or strange with this? I'm trying to make it larger so you can see. Any surprises in here?
You know, I'm surprised Finland isn't higher. I'm going to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I know they do have a lower population than some of these other countries, but that's really the only one that surprises me. I'm not surprised that a lot of the European countries are well represented, even the Czech Republic, when you understand the topography. I mean, not topography, the geography. Wow, wrong word. I'm tired. Geography. Then you understand the geography of Europe. You totally can grasp why things
Yeah.
shake out the way they do, and the
Mm-hmm.
fact that, and especially in places like the Alps area, you
Mm-hmm.
being able to cross country ski or do a lot of these things, that's called survival. That's called how they got around. That's
Yeah.
just and so it's not only in their DNA, but
Right.
it's just part of their culture, their
Right.
lifestyle. Like this is people learn. I have a friend from Montana,
Mm-hmm.
and I would ask her, I'm like, what do you guys do in the winter when like, because she'd talk about how the roads would get unpassable sometimes. She's like, oh, we just snowmobile.
Yep.
I'm like, wait, what? They like
Mm-hmm.
snowmobile to school and church and things like that. I'm like, are you kidding me? And she was like, nah. I mean, we started snowmobiling when we were like 7. I'm like,
Wow.
and
Hey.
so that's just how they roll.
Yeah, it's
And
kind of like.
so not
Sorry, go
surprised
ahead.
with those ones.
Well, it's like we saw in the picture earlier with the military and that military patrol. I'm like, that was an event, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So we'll.
I'm so excited to talk to you about that one.
Okay.
Yay.
All right. Well, we'll get moving along. So, let me just a poll without polling seems a missed opportunity.
It is. Honestly, I'm like I said, y'all go check out the female Polish figure skater. I just blinked on her name. But dude, that girl's got skill.
Figgy, you kill me. You kill me. But anyway, that's where we got with the leaders count, medal count. There's the countries involved, a number of participants. But one of the, before we talk about the events and stuff like that, I'm going to sit back. It's time for you to take over with, because part of the U.S. contingent is a special group of people. We talked about the Paralympics also, but there's also current active military members of the U.S. military that are involved in the Winter Olympics under a specific program. So, Sam, are you ready for me to bring the graphic up?
Heck yes.
All right, Sam, it's your turn.
All right, so this is the World Class Athlete Program. And for those of you who aren't familiar with it, the World Class Athlete Program is a special designation of the United States Army, which allows exceptionally athletic and trained individuals who have shown a exceptional skill level in their discipline to not only serve in the United States Armed Forces, but simultaneously represent the United States internationally in competitions such as the Olympics. And this year, we have 6 different athletes competing, and they're coming from all different places with different backgrounds. Actually, I think we might have more than 6. I just second guessed myself on that. We have them competing in the United States for the United States Army, although some of them, one place said it was Air Force. I double checked. These are all Army. It's an Army program. They compete in both the Summer and Winter Olympics. Sometimes we have Paralympians as well as normal Olympians. The Paralympians are usually wounded warrior veterans who are medically retired. Now, let's get into our actual competitors this year, and I'm so excited to share them with you. Our first one is Spencer Howe. He's a private, and he is going to be our first competitor in pairs figure skating. And oh my gosh, my nerdy little girl heart is super excited about this one. Now, I know you're thinking, he's an Army soldier and he's a figure skater. Well, if he was in men's alone, men's single, he probably would get a lot of crap. But he gets to, for his normal training, hang out with a hot chick. So yeah, all the guys are going to be nice to him. He is originally from Los Angeles, California. He's 29 years old. He joined in February of 2025 after he hit some major setbacks with his career. He was struggling to go to college, train, and pay for everything and support himself. And then someone's like, hey, you do realize the Army will cover all of that? He's like, what's it? What? They're like, if you are an exceptional athlete in your field, in your sport, and you join the military, you will get a paycheck, you will get coaching, you will get funding to compete, and they will pay for your education. And he's like, sign me up.
Wow.
So he is an 88 Mike, which is a motor transport operator. Basically, he's a truck driver. He transports things all over, but his aspiration is to eventually become a chaplain. He feels very, very strongly that God has blessed him in his life. And once he is no longer able to compete as a figure skater, he wants to continue to serve our country as a full-time service member and a chaplain, helping the service members find the peace and strength they need to face the challenges of serving our nation. And I'm really, like, he's got a very touching story. You all really need to go check him out and cheer him on. I'm so excited for him and his partner. His partner's not in the military. She is benefiting from him being in the military. So lucky girl. I think she's the one who really scored in all of this. But anyway, he is one of the younger ones on the team.
I tell you, honestly, I'm like, military figure skating. I'm like, yeah, that's one of those. I'm like, yeah. But then again, like you said, the hot chick,
and he's lifting a lot of weight. Like, that guy's ripped. So
absolutely,
ruck marches aren't going to be an issue for that boy. So this guy, he is in the biathlon. He is from Center Conway, New Hampshire, New Hampshire, Northampton. Wow, I'm so educated tonight. Anyway,
There you
30
are.
years old, joined in 2018, and he is a woodworker and carpentry masonry specialist. So this is what I love about him. This guy is he screams total farm boy. I'm not sure if his family owns a farm, but he farm boy straight up. He likes hunting, woodworking, skiing. So it doesn't surprise me at all that he's in the biathlon, because that is cross country skiing plus shooting. And he is he said, yeah, he wants to do this forever. He likes being in the military, he likes shooting. It's just his thing, it's his jam, and he's super happy. He's training in Lake Placid. And that's not far from home, so he seems to be enjoying this.
Lake Placid, which is famous for the 1980 Winter Olympics. Yeah.
Yes, a lot of the summer Olympian world class athletes tend to train in Fort Carson, Colorado. A lot of the winter ones tend to train in Lake Placid. So even though the headquarters for the World Class Athlete Program is in Colorado Springs, Colorado, because that is also the headquarters of the Olympics for the United States. So it just makes sense that the nearest military installation is also the host.
Okay.
For that. So they're technically attached to that. So, but what this means is some of these are active duty, they're service members, and some of them are guard. Their National Guard. So what their full-time job is training for the Olympics, and then their part-time job is their MOS, and they do that on the side. Now, they only do this for a short period of time. You don't get to be a world-class athlete in the military forever. You have a short window of where you get to do that, but it's all expenses paid. So yes, look for him in biathlon. Our next girly in biathlon is Staff Sergeant Deidre Irwin, and she is from Wisconsin. She's 33, joined in 2019, and she is HR as her MOS. She is very talented from what I've heard, and exceptionally good at what she does. So again, she's one to watch. This is not her first Olympics, and she is definitely going to be a contender, in my opinion. So and she's actually one of the higher ranking people who are competing. It's interesting to note that even though most of the individuals who are competing are college educated, not all of them. The last one, he does not have a college degree. And some of them are currently in college. They have not graduated. None of them are officers. They're all enlisted. And I'm not sure if that's an aspect of the program itself. It probably is. They probably don't take officers. So, but but they do have officers for coaches, and we'll get to that. Next athlete to watch is Sergeant Ben Looms, and he does the Nordic combined. So he is from Wisconsin, also 27, joined in 2019. He's also an 88 Mike, which means he's a truck driver for the Army. And I don't think he's the one who, maybe he is. I think he's the one who moved to Utah. Yeah, when he was 15, because I think he's the one who started competing at 5 and was so exceptionally talented. His family moved him to Park City, Utah at 15. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was him. And he's exceptionally talented as well. So Nordic combined will be where you see him. This is our first bobsledder. And for all y'all who heard me ranting and raving about our bobsled team, I misunderstood, and I'm going to eat crow right now. I thought we had a 2-person bobsled team. No. We have one U.S. service member who is made it onto each the men's and women's team. Now, Sergeant Frank Del Duca is not only a father of 2, but he is actually, I think, the only one with kids who's in the exceptional athlete program. He has been in the Olympics several times. He's been a bobsledder for a long time, and it wasn't until a lot of these people, they were struggling to keep their careers going. until they found out about the exceptional athlete program. And then they were so excited to realize they could serve their country in 2 different ways. He specifically has talked about how it helped view him and how he represents his country as an athlete in a whole new way, because he's sacrificing for his country. He's an infantryman. So he's probably seen some stuff, and he'll probably continue to see some stuff. But yeah, I joined in 2019. He's 34 years old. Again, has a wife and 2 kids, and he has competed multiple times. He will be in the 4 men's bobsled and the 2 men bobsled. He is a brakeman, if I remember right. He used to be oh, no, now I'm second guessing myself. No, he's a pilot. He used to be a brakeman. Or I'm flip-flopping that. Please forgive me. I'm human.
Now, the pilot, it would be the person driving the sled, the first man to get in up front?
Yeah. Pilot is the first one in,
mm-hmm.
and then brakeman is the last.
Right.
I'm strongly thinking that he was a brakeman and he now is a pilot, but it could be the reverse. And I don't know where my notes are right now, so sorry.
Well, we'll find them. But yeah, go ahead. You're doing good.
Next one. This is Azaria Hill. She has 2 relatives who are former Olympians, none of which have been in the Olympics, the Winter Olympics. They were all Summer Olympians. One was a track and field, and I don't remember what the other one did. Her mom was an Olympian. She is from Santa Clara, California, 27 years old, joined in 2024. And she joined and actually started bobsled because she actually used to do other sports. Dude, the sports this girl hasn't done is probably a shorter list. And some friend of hers is like, hey, they're recruiting for the bobsled. P.S. If you have any prowess with any skills that align with bobsled, they're always recruiting. You should check them out. The U.S. bobsled team always is looking for new people.
I would like to see the U.S. win a medal in bobsled, though.
I would love to also. Ironically enough, a lot of the donors, the private donors for bobsled in the United States, fund the Jamaican team and not the American team. Side note. I'm okay with that. Put your money where you want to. She switched to bobsled when a friend encouraged her to do so. Didn't realize that she'd be so good and instantly made it into the sport. She does whichever one the other one doesn't do. So Del Duca, if he's a pilot, then she's a brake person, or vice versa. I think she's brake and he's pilot is what it is.
Mrs. Confirmed. She said Del Duca is the pilot.
Okay, and she's a brake. She's the brake. And I think she's in 2, not 4, but I'm not sure. She's only doing 1. She's not on both teams. She's also an 88 Mike, which means she is a truck driver. A lot of these people said that they wanted to be lifers once they get out of the world-class athlete program. I couldn't find a statement to that for her. So we'll just see what she does. I'm excited to see. She's a specialist, so also known as the E4 Mafia or Sham Shield. So she should be very
jeez. E4 Mafia. Gosh, the terms are just killing me. I mean, my gosh.
E4 Mafia is real.
By the way, Buddy said something that's real. Lake Placid is nice, except for the giant crocodile. Daisy got the reference too.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
So, this is one of the bobsled coaches. His name is Lieutenant Colonel Garrett Hines. He has been in the United States military for a hot minute and joined, when I was a very little one. He has a lot of experience with bobsled. He was a former world-class athlete himself and has then continued with his military career, which has allowed him to now turn around and be qualified and able to perform this job as coach. So he is getting to go as a coach for the bobsled team, and that's got to be a highlight for him. He's got to be super happy about that.
Yep. Mrs. said that Hill's position was listed as push athlete.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's changed since I'm going off of some of the bios I saw. However, I saw some inconsistencies between some of the stuff. So things could still be in flux. Yep. All of this is subject to the
well, like any sport, you might realign positions on a moment's notice. Something could happen. Just who knows?
And we have a couple alternates in here too. I don't have full details on all of them, but we have a couple alternates who may end up competing. So next is He is the head coach of the bobsled team. This is Colonel Chris Fug, yeah, that one.
Fogged.
Fogged.
Yeah,
You
is it
you that
FOGT?
one. So he is from Alpine, Utah, and he actually went to Utah Valley University, which is not far from where I attended at BYU. And he is a Utah native, and has been doing winter sports for quite a while. He is quite the athlete in and of himself. Yeah, he didn't have 42, so I'm sitting there going, dude, he's probably in better shape than I am. But yeah, he's also not far from my age. It was so weird to see some of these ones. I'm like, oh, I'm that. Yeah, okay.
Oh, the Colonel's my age. It's like, oh wow, hey,
Yeah, so he's older than me, but he's not a lot older than me.
yeah,
And was he was at UVU when I had friends and family at UVU just before I got to BYU. So like we kind of just missed each other.
yep.
Not and he was in the ROTC program. I actually had guy friends in the Army ROTC program at UVU. So I bet you some of the people I knew probably knew him. So never met him myself though. Next one is from my alma mater. And no, I looked everywhere. Ain't nobody gonna tell me this girl's age. Just gonna tell you that right now. I did get her MOS though, because she is so officers don't typically have an MOS. MOS is usually for enlisted. She is a first sergeant. This is Shauna Robux. She actually was a soccer player at BYU.
Wow.
Yeah. My homegirl, she is from Park City. She joined before September 11th. So her career has had to have been fascinating. She is also a bobsled coach. This girl is just super talented. She is HR, and she's been in for a hot minute. If you are listening and you happen to know her, I want to interview her so desperately. Like, I want to interview this girl.
By the way, let me break in real quick with
Yes.
that right there, folks. If you're former military, if you know veterans, if you know people that are in the military, that's what part of what Sam does with her channel. She documents people's stories because she says everyone has a story, even if you don't think it's exciting or whatever, but you all have stories. So we'll have her link out there in the chat. Mrs. or Buddy or somebody can get her link out there for me now, and I'll ping it for later. But that's why she's on here also talking about the military program here. But get to know her channel, subscribe over there to her, help support her. And if, like I said, if you're a veteran, you may not think you have a story, but she wants to hear it. So
I do, because everybody has a story that's worth telling, sharing, and preserving. And I try to help individuals with their military family history research as well. The problem is so many resources have been lost or just were never recorded to begin with. And the only way we can prevent that happening for future generations is to preserve the stories of our current veterans now. Save them before they're lost, before we don't have the opportunity. And then other generations are struggling to find information about their loved ones just like we are nowadays.
Absolutely. And we'll have more on you for that as the stream goes on. Because you said something, I wanted people.
Oh yeah.
So they heard that before if they leave, if they're here with us now.
She's my alumni girl. She's a BYU. She's BYU Cougar.
Yeah.
And she played soccer. I love soccer. So I'm super jazzed to see her compete. Well, she's not competing, she's coaching. So
Mrs. found that article says she's 48 years old.
Ha! So. Okay. I searched everywhere. Nobody wanted to give up her age. Good job, Mrs. All right. Next is our first alternate, and I could not find his age either. He is from Virginia. This I thought was interesting because a lot of them were 88 mics, infantry, those sorts of things. He's actually a biomedical equipment specialist, which he's got to have some stories. So he's a corporal, which is equivalent to, it's an E4. It's just a different level than it's complicated. It's like a specialist, but it's still E4. So he is a bobsled alternate, and he, again, has a really quite extensive athletic career. So if he gets a chance to compete, I will be excited for him. Don't know a ton. They really focus more on the ones who are competing for sure. And then here's our next alternate. He is for luge. And this is another sham show. We got a lot of E4 Mafia in this team because E4s get things done.
How do you call what is this E4 Mafia? What is the Mafia supposed to
Okay, so here's the here if you really want the best take on the E4 Mafia,
sure,
go see the Fat Electrician did a YouTube short explaining it. But it's a running joke in the military that if you want to get things done, if sergeants want to get things done, they ask the E4 because they aren't an NCO, so they can claim they don't know, and they can use creative misunderstanding on how they achieve their goals. But they've been around long enough to be resourceful enough know how to get them done.
And how not get caught. Okay, gotcha.
Yes. So the other running joke is that there's only one thief in the military. Everyone else is just trying to get their stuff back.
Gosh, too funny.
So if you want something done and you don't want to know how it got done, you call the E4s.
All right, gotcha.
Yeah. So he's our last one, and he is going to be for luge again. He's from Massachusetts, and he's also an 88 Mike. So it'll be interesting to see, how it all goes for him. So, but overall, I just want to say good luck to all of them. I'm super excited for all of our service members who are competing this year. And I love this program. I love that it gives them the opportunity. See, Mrs. Dadman's rocking it. She found his age too. So he's 83.
38.
38. So I have dyslexia and dysnuria, and y'all just caught the dysnuria in real life there.
There's a slight dyslexia from like 23 and 32 is one thing, but 83? Sorry.
Well, it's because I missed the. So dyslexia means you mix up the letters in a word. Dysnuria means you mix up numbers. I have both.
Oh, wow. You're fine.
Hey,
oh, wow.
At least I don't have dysgraphia. That's the third one partner in that. We don't want to go there.
No,
anyway.
I don't. Oh, I've heard all about dyslexia. So, but Dana Kellogg's 25, according to what Mrs. said.
Thank you, Mrs. Right. On that one. But anyway, I'm just really grateful and excited that we have this program that allows them to serve both our country as military service members as well as athletes. And a lot of them, they said when in these interviews that joining the military really transformed their perspective on being an athlete and all of that, because they saw, for especially the ones who are in disciplines like the biathlon, which have a military history component, it was really eye-opening to them about the history of their sport and just the practicalness of it. Honestly, dude, the chick in the biathlon, straight up, she could probably be a scout sniper, no problem. So it's just one of those things, like they've got massive skills. And if you want, we can take this as a segue into some of the sports and the histories thereof.
Yeah, we'll do. I got to do something over on the Twitch side, because yes, we get bots in here. Yeah, so I just gotta ban them real quickly. And there we
Yay,
go.
bots! Well,
talk about snotting. Talk about sniping. But let me look at the poll real fast. Which country was the last medal leader before Norway back in 2010? So far, 62% of the respondents say, out of 8 votes, USA, Germany at 12%, Canada at 25%. Nobody said Austria, though. Okay. So we shall see how that goes. So make sure you vote early, vote often in our poll, So let's see, before the only winter Olympian I've met, Tina met, is a former skip for Team Canada's women's curling, Jennifer Jones. Her team is the only team, men's or women's, who went through the round robin undefeated. Nice.
That would have been so cool.
That's nice. We love curling. Miss and I started falling in love with that years ago. I can't wait to watch some. Hopefully tomorrow we can watch some. But we'll have to look at the schedule of that
today too. But hands down, I have to say that like every athlete I've met. Now, maybe there are arrogant, cranky, annoying ones, but all the ones I've had the pleasure of meeting, and I've actually met more than I can count, they've all been super pleasant and super sweet. I remember when I was working for a boys and girls club, and they had a bobsledder come through from a guy from the men's bobsled team. And he not only came in and did his presentation, but then afterwards, he spent the whole rest of the day just playing with the kids. He didn't have to. All he was supposed to do was come in and do his 30-minute presentation, but he didn't want to leave. And he was just one of the sweetest guys. And it was such a pleasure to get to know him
Mm-hmm.
and just hang out with him that day. So that's honestly, I'm sure there's plenty of egos. I'm sure there's plenty of obnoxious ones, but all of the ones ever met were just absolutely wonderful human beings. So,
Yep. All right. Well, hey, we're going to transition over into the events that we have coming up, and we'll take some time on each of them, but we'll see how we get through it. As I said earlier, there are 116 medal events across 16 sports, featuring 2,900 athletes from over 90 nations. Um, the hosted across multiple clusters. We know Milan, Cortina. Oh, they shortened it, but Valtellina and Valdifini. So
I love you.
I love me too. Thank you.
Livorno and Borromeo.
What? Huh? That's not Boromir.
Borromeo. Borromeo.
It's Val di Femme.
Okay. Val di Femme might. Okay. Then I might have the wrong information. My information said Borromeo, but Borromeo and Val di Femme might be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
What?
it is Livorno, honey. The
Okay.
G
Livorno.
does not sound like a G in Italian.
All right. That works for me. I don't mind. Do I meant to keep the slide up? No, I didn't. Thank you, Mrs., for the reminder. But okay.
I still say good luck to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So now the full list of 16 disciplines are including 8 new events for gender equality and excitement, from what the site said. So while there's not many events as the summer games, we still get a good number to watch. So all right, let's take a look at it. Looks like it's an alphabetical order. Alpine skiing, which has 11 events. The features are Battle of Singapore versus Malaysia.
Yep, that's the one we're all watching. Singapore versus Malaysia. Who's going to kick whose butt? Right, Sashi?
Right. High-speed races down snowy slopes, including downhill slalom, giant slalom, super G, and combined.
Mm-hmm.
There is a new discipline in the team combined this year.
That'll be interesting. I always think team ones are fascinating just because of how they can set those up. Because where you place your different athletes can actually make or break your team dynamics, even if you don't change who's in the team. So that'll be interesting.
So it's interesting that they have it. So now the alpine skiing, I guess the disciplines. I'm pulling up a different screen right now. At the point, it lists each of the because they have different events like Super G, stuff like that, right? There's like women's downhill, women's slalom, women's giant slalom, women's Super G, women's team combined, men's downhill slalom, giant slalom, Super G, men's team combined. So if the team combined is new this year, what I guess a men's downhill is just a straight where they just straight downhill. The slalom is when they go through the gates, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
and what's the super slalom and the Super G? What do all those mean?
Those are, I think, the design of the course. So I think they go back and forth in them more. And so there's a lot more curves and the difficulty is higher.
Okay.
Now, I will admit I only have a surface level knowledge of the alpine skiing. I watch it because I think it's fun, but it's not like me in ice skating, like figure skating.
Oh no, I appreciate anything you can do because I have no knowledge. So that's...
yeah. So the thing is, the way those are marked, so the some of them have gates, but they all have paths, and the paths will be marked in the snow. and they have to stay in those, and they have a line that they need to keep to have the fastest time. As they get off the line, or if they go out of the designated path, they lose point, like they have extra time added to their time. So the I believe the shape of the course determines whether it's slalom or super G, but I wouldn't be confident in telling you what's the difference between those.
Okay. Well, remember the new discipline added this year is the team combined for both men's and women's. So
yes, usually when they do
gosh,
combines, they take the top athlete for each country in each discipline, and they each compete, and their combined total score is the score of that nation.
Look at that. Sashi's already got some out of Salehud in the alpine skier. How about that? The moguls. Not to be the mogul, not Lord of the Rings, right?
So. Yeah. No.
And yeah, that link is the most he can find on Malaysian athlete. On that Malaysian athlete.
I mean, sorry, but hey, good for you. That is some serious research skills, and I apologize for laughing. Although, is it the only one you could find in English? Because I bet you could find more in, Asian languages.
Well, Wes Cagel's coming out with one of the ones that I like to watch when I can watch it and remember to watch it, but the biathlon, which they have 11 events, combines cross-country skiing and rifle shooting.
Yeah, so
including the sprints, pursuits, individuals, relays, and mass starts. But go ahead, because I want to follow up on this.
So the history of the biathlon goes into a lot of the Nordic countries' military traditions, specifically also what was done by SOE and the World War II venue in Norway. So what happened in Norway, and now I'm not saying the British invented it, but I think the British got introduced to it by the Norwegians and the Scandinavians, and they're like, hey, dude, this is pretty freaking awesome. We should make a sport off of this. The Norwegians taught the British how to cross-country ski with a rifle strapped to their backs to conduct sabotage missions against the Nazis in Norway. So this is something they do just for hunting, just for survival, just for kicks and giggles. If you guys are familiar with the Finnish sharpshooter who was known for doing this, the White Death, I believe is his nickname, and I'm just forgetting his name. And basically, he took on the Russians and kicked butt and took names. He would take out up to 50 people in a day as a sniper. So this is like fun and games for them. So I wasn't surprised when I saw that both the men's and women's team have a Army service member in them.
Mm-hmm. Wow. See, I think it's neat about you got your individuals. Now, I guess is mass start where they put everybody up there at the same time and they just have to get through each other. And a relay would be like like we think of a running relay where they take turns, where they take each leg, right?
Wait, say that again. Sorry, I was reading the comments.
Yeah, the mass start would be everybody starting at one time in one big area, right?
Yes. So with some of these, what they'll do is they'll stagger start them, and then your accuracy and your speed determine your score. But with the mass starts, everybody's doing it all at the same time, which adds a level of pressure and chaos, which can up the level of difficulty.
Mm-hmm. All right. Relay is
White Death. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, White Death. The relay is like we think of a relay. A mixed would be men and women together.
Yes.
Now the sprint is just where they try to do it fast. But what is the pursuit?
No. Okay. So sprint means that it's a shorter distance, typically.
Right.
It's not as much of an endurance one.
All right.
So sprint and then pursuit, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. All right. Thought we did it. Sashi did find something on the Malaysian athlete. She was a figure skater that switched to skiing. Started skiing at a young age in Canada. Oh, very interesting. Very interesting.
Oh, if it's a guy versus a girl, then they may not go head to head.
But still, it's got a. I don't know what the other one is. I don't know if the other was a male or female. We'll put Sashi on the case to find out first for sure. But that's the biathlon. Like I said, it's one of the sports I've always liked, intrigued with the shooting part, but it's like we don't get it live very often. And
No, which is so disappointing.
yep, one sport that's not disappointing is the next sport. We got bobsleigh. The four
Bobsled.
events. It includes a 2-man, 2-woman, 4-man, and women's monobob.
Mm-hmm.
What is a monobob?
I've never heard of that term, so I'm not 100% sure. I thought they were all just bobsleds.
I know. I thought it was a 2-man, 2-woman, 4-man, and 4 women. Who knows? But bobsleigh.
Wait. Is mono listed as a separate thing? I'm not seeing it. Then that might be the one man. What the one person bobsled? Sorry.
Oh, there's a one person bobsled. I didn't realize
there can
that.
Be.
Yeah, well, because here we got the 2-man bobsleigh, 4-man bobsleigh, 2-woman bobsleigh, and women's monobob. Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hey, but yeah,
probably just isn't as many women bobsledders, and so that's why they have to do a team and an individual.
See, that I really, like I said, bobsleigh is another one that is historically not, because the thing is, before streaming, you really were locked to only what the main network would show.
Yeah.
And so when you were subject to having to watch skating and the popular sports.
Yes. So when you first said that, my brain put the 2-woman monobob as one thing, not two separate things, and that's why I was confused.
Right.
Then my brain's like, no, I think those are separate. But yeah, that is the problem. That's one reason why I like streaming better, is because especially when you have these streaming things, you can go back and watch the full competition and not just rely on the highlights and what the broadcasters think people are going to like. Yep. And you may discover a sport you have never heard of before, like the biathlon, which you will genuinely love.
Yeah, exactly. It's different. You got the shooting. Now, I'm going to kind of gloss over the cross-country skiing because I think that's fairly apparent what that is. But cross-country skiing has 12 events, long-distance skiing races from sprints to the 50-kilometer marathons, plus relays and team sprints. You got any thoughts on the cross-country skiing?
It takes a whole lot of energy, and more power to them, because if you think you're a good cross-country runner, try cross-country skiing. That's a whole nother level.
Wow, that's you think it's easy, but hey, by the way, not that something that is not easy is Sashi. Sashi found out more information. The Singaporean is Faiz Basha. Dude is a dude, so it's first Singaporean to qualify. But first Singaporean to qualify for the Winter Olympics.
Good for him.
Nice, very nice.
Wait, am I supposed to be rooting for Malaysia or Singapore on this one? I wasn't sure which team I'm supposed to be on.
Well, since one's man, one's woman, you can root for both of them. Yeah, Sashi, what is it? Is it by country or by gender? Which way is the cheer? I think it's by country, though.
No, it is country, but like, Sashi, I need to know. You got to coach me here. Should I be Team Singapore or Team Malaysia, or should I be both? Because they're on technically different ones. Because one's guy, one's a girl.
I think probably Team Malaysia, though.
Okay.
So, like,
Team Malaysia. That's what Mrs. Dadman says. Okay.
She yelled it for you.
Well, we'll support her until Sashi says otherwise. We'll assume she's right.
I think Sashi's going to say Malaysia. But hey, the curling is our next one. It features women's, men, and mixed doubles. So
yeah, you're the expert here.
Yeah, we got 3 events. I like the way they describe it. Strategic ice game with stones and brooms. Known for its tactical depth and chess on ice vibe.
I wouldn't say ice skating so much as ice walking, because they don't have blades on their feet.
Just look, I'm just reading what they wrote. So that's funny. By the way, they say that 47% of the participants will be women, which is the highest percentage of Winter Olympics history. So
I can see that, though. That, like, if the cold didn't cause me to be in pain, I think I could get into curling.
Yeah, I like it. Well, we'll move on to the figure skating 5 events. We see it so much. Well, you love it. Okay, I'll let you gush and gloat about whatever you want with it. Artistic performances with jump, spins, lifts include singles, men, women, pairs, ice dance, and team event. So what are you? Okay, I know you. This. Go ahead. I know you're a figure
This
skater.
is
Go ahead.
my baby. This was my first love of all the winter sports. I loved this one first. So, oh no, baby cuteness. I just got to talking again. Shoo, shoo. Sorry, baby cuteness is trying to interrupt again.
It's okay.
So with figure skating, there's 5 different disciplines. Most people are familiar with the pairs and the men's and women's. Most people have not heard of, and then there's the team competition, which is self-explanatory, I hope. Most people don't know what ice dance is. I actually, growing up with this sport and loving this sport, I did not know what ice dance was.
Right.
Go find Sergeant Dad.
Ice dance. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Ice dance,
it makes it
actually,
really
they're
artistic.
doing waltz, they're doing salsa, they're actually doing
How
real
on
ballroom dance
skates?
on
Wow.
ice.
Wow.
So I do ballroom dance. Heavens knows I couldn't do it on ice to save my life. So more power to them.
Nice. Yeah.
Here's the thing about ice dance has been largely exempt from this, but they have fallen prey only if you go talk to daddy. Sorry, I'm negotiating with the toddler.
I know you got to do what you do. Buddy says Buddy says outside the U.S. he roots for Scotland, Portugal, and the Republic of Ireland. So, folks, if y'all have any other favorite countries, go ahead. Feel free to throw them in the chat. Nice combination: Scotland, Portugal, Republic of Ireland. Buddy, people confuse ice dance with the pairs. See, I'm curious what the difference with team event is. I mean, if that's by country or what team event means compared to pair skating. So that's the event that let's see, I'm trying to look at something up with that.
Okay, so team is what we've already started. The team competition's already begun. With team, you get one person from each discipline competing in and their scores are combined to get the U.S. total. Or the total for each country. So we have one person representing women's figure skating, men's figure skating, pairs figure skating, and one team representing ice dancing. Our ice dancing team and our pairs team, I got to see them today. I didn't see them. Our men. Anyway, I watched a lot of the figure skating today. It was really good. So they did the short programs today, long programs, or the artistic programs, the free programs are to come. The difference between the short program and the free program is in the short program, every single person is required to do the same type and number of technical things. So like side by side spins, triple jump, backspin, sit spin, whatever it be. They have the same technical checklist that they have to hit. They can put them in any order they want, but they have to do all of those elements or they get penalized. And that exists for all of the disciplines, for dance, pairs, men and women. And then all their scores get totaled. And then as one country for that one country, and then the country with the highest total score wins. So that's team. And then we have multiple people competing individually for each of the disciplines. So we have 2 or 3 pairs, 2 or 3 ice dance, 2 or 3 men's, 2 or 3 women's individually. Now, the United States figure skating team took a massive hit with the tragedy with the plane crash in DC. A good chunk of the junior Olympic team was on board, and as well as the husband and wife coaching team. So that did not affect this current U.S. Olympic team, but I don't know what will happen in the future because this isn't just a sport you usually pick up overnight. Right. And so we may be struggling in the next couple of Olympics because of that tragedy.
No. All right. Yeah, it happens when you have a loss like that. Yeah.
Oh, the free program, they're allowed to do whatever they want, and it's longer. And here's the last thing I want to say about figure skating. Figure skating goes through this evolution, this little cycle. It'll be super, super technical, where everyone will be like, I'm going to do the hardest, most technically difficult things. And the music is uninspired and really boring, and everyone wants to fall asleep. And I hate those periods of time. And then they
Mm-hmm.
go through this super exciting, I'm going to put on a performance, I'm going to put on a show. And you have the showmen, the people who are like, I can do the technical, but I'm going to wow you and I'm going to make you feel what I'm doing. And so they go through these periods where they'll like focus heavy in on classical music and being really, really serious and dramatic. And
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of that. Whenever they go into that phase, I'm like, okay, I'll catch you in a few years. And then they come back into the artistry phase, and I feel like we're going back into the artistry phase again. We're coming out of one of our dry spells,
Right.
and specifically, I saw the Polish dancer and the Polish women's single figure skater, and the American one. I watched both of their short programs. The Polish girl,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, is she an entertainer? So, y'all, it's getting better. It's getting more enjoyable again.
Yep. I just remember the Kerrigan Harding situation.
Oh
That's all.
gosh, Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding.
And then Tanya Harding went on to have a great career on World's Dumbest.
She's so dumb. Nancy
But-
Kerrigan was one of my first favorites.
Well, Fallout Dave said his wife is watching the replay of the rhythm dance now.
Yeah, it's good. The team we've got they're spot on. They're a husband and wife, and they're so cute.
But can they win? Can they really win against the world?
No, they are. Our ice dancing team is like the best.
No, the best is hello, Citrus. Howdy, Dad, man, the best male figure skater in our community. Yes. Yes. Thank you.
And then
thank you.
We have the best technical and performance-wise men's individual figure skater. I'm not going to stop. You're talking about figure skating.
No, Dave. Well, that's okay. But here, Dave said that's how athletes took a knee back in the day. That's not too soon. But yeah, your passion. We could probably spend 4 hours on figure skating.
I know figure skating. Yeah, I know figure skating. Sasha Cohen, like you just get me going.
Oh,
but we'll move on.
What's your favorite? Well, what's your favorite event of the different disciplines of figure skating? I had to pick one.
I can't pick one anymore. At different points in my life, I think I could have. I think just because I'm really starting to get into it and I can relate to it better, the ice dance has taken a new level of interest for me as a ballroom dancer. But I miss Scott Hamilton. He was fabulous. Watching him do backflips on ice was just mesmerizing. Yeah. I loved watching, like, Sasha Cohen's was good. Like, I just miss but I've always been into the pairs. I've always been into pairs because I just think it is absolutely mind-blowing how much faith and trust you have to have in a partner to let them launch you into the air and just know they're going to catch you.
Oh, a lot of faith. I understand that. Yes, fellow Dave. Yes, my theme song. Exactly. You paid attention.
Yeah. That's not a short program I want to see.
Hey, Homer's. Anyway, but listen, we got freestyle skiing as the next event. 13 events, though, in it. It's acrobatic feats on snow, including the moguls that Tina mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
The aerial, ski cross, half pipe, slope style, and big air. So
big air is fun.
The new added this year's the men's and women's dual moguls. So
that'll be interesting to see.
So freestyle skiing, what I guess it's just what the name. It's just you do whatever you want to do in those particular paths.
Yeah, you just do those different disciplines. So freestyle is because it's basically everything that is in alpine. And everything that is in jumping. So it's like the tricks, the jumps, the flips, like all of that sort of stuff.
Right. No, because I know the moguls are like the little small holes. It's like they're
Mhm.
divots, and so um, that's kind of what I know what that is. The aerials, I guess, are where they fly. Do the. It's almost like gymnastics on ice
Well,
because they're
basically, you're going down really fast off a ramp, and then when you hit the ramp, you do tricks and
right.
land.
And I might be confusing with half pipe because half pipe is where you're going side to side.
Yes.
Like
So
okay,
one's a ramp, you go down really fast, you launch off a ramp, you do tricks, and you land.
hmm
Half pipe is going back and forth.
and big air is what you just try to jump and go as high as you can and try to.
It's a variant of the other one, but I'm not really confident I can explain the difference. It's been a
Okay,
hot minute since I've watched it.
better a hot minute than a hot mess. So, but that's okay.
Well, I'm both.
Yeah. We've got and then of course ice hockey, which only two. We got a women and men's tournaments. NHL players returning experience fierce battles. I don't know if it seems like that U.S. Canada thing last year or the year before with the NHL players. That was kind of uh, crazy. Any thoughts? I mean, really, hockey is something we see a lot of times in this country. I mean, I figure U.S. and Canada, but I mean Sweden, Finland, one of those countries
There's a
probably is
lot of
among
really
those
great
four.
countries. There's a lot of really great teams coming into this. I think Canada is always going to be the favorite, and I think you can never count out the US. Um, I think the fact that Russia can no longer field a team is going to be significant and has been significant. But honestly, it's probably going to end up being the US and Canada, even though it shouldn't be.
No,
I
I
really
agree.
feel like there's some other great teams, but you never know. It's the Olympics. You can have upsets, and upsets are always possible, and it'll be great. I like upsets in the Olympics. I
Well,
just
the greatest of all time was I remember I was 10 years old. The Miracle on Ice. I remember watching it with my dad and everybody. And look, I don't know why we were watching the Olympics. It's the only Olympics I really ever remember watching with my parents. But I don't know if I can't remember. I think it became such a hot topic issue that of course, everybody tuned in. And I think that's what my parents did that night because I remember, do you believe it? The miracles and Al Michaels sitting there. That's 46 years ago. Him making the call,
yeah.
and it's just
Well,
amazing. And it was like a true upset. I mean,
it,
you had them against the Russian professional teams, which were military at the
yeah,
time.
they were, and they were state funded, and that's all they did. And the thing is, though, I again, I love The Miracle on Ice. I think the movie did a really good job at depicting that. I remember watching that with my mom, and she was so excited that they stuck to the way it really happened.
Right.
She remembered watching that and loving it. She was a little older than you were, but I wasn't quite around yet. So, but it was one of those situations where actually the thing people don't realize is that was the second US team to beat the Russian professionals. The problem is we focus on that team. Well, the good thing is we focus on that team because they learned from hard work, teamwork, and dedication. The other team that beat the US, or sorry, the Russian team was the Philadelphia Flyers, and that's because they beat the crap out of them. So,
Well, they were our pros, so but yeah.
yeah, they're the only NHL team that could take them on, and it's because they played dirty. But that's a
Yeah,
whole
well.
nother story.
Well, Wes Cagle can take pride in his Philadelphia Flyers then, because I know he's from New Jersey, but he loves his Flyers. We have the Flyers Devils debate all the time, so but it's awesome to see. We got we're over halfway down. We got the luge, which is 5 events. The supine sledding at breakneck speeds. Now, the luge is where the feet first, right?
So I believe
Because
Luge's feet first,
okay,
skeleton
yes,
is head
skeleton
first.
is face first. Yes, exactly. Luge, they have singles men and women,
Oh,
doubles men
and
and women.
luge is on your back, skeleton is on your stomach.
Oh wow. Uh, and actually, they have doubles men and women team relay. New this year is the women's doubles. So,
That's going to be okay. Luge and skeleton have been known to cause serious injury and death. We
oh, I
have
bet.
had deaths on some of these tracks. There has been a huge outcry because ever since the Salt Lake Olympics and the fact that their track is still in use, that's where a lot of people still train. A lot of these countries who've hosted since then have tried to compete and make an even faster track, an even more difficult track. The problem is, at almost every single Olympics, somebody has been seriously injured or killed on those tracks. And so there has been an outcry to regulate how difficult or how they're built or things like that, to make it so that it is a safer sport. And
Right.
honestly, I kind of agree with that. I feel like you can push the envelope so far, but when it's getting people killed, that's when you need to reassess things.
Right. Yeah. Without a doubt. I mean, luge. I mean, we'll talk about skeleton in a minute. It's just amazing that they have the guts to sit there like that. Either, especially the head first. I mean, it's one thing to go feet 1st
Mm-hmm.
and even if pop over the top, at least maybe you can get up and you can fly, land on your legs, break a leg or something. But that feet head first is just
Yeah.
crazy. We got Nordic Combined. This is one that I don't know. What the heck is Nordic Combined? Why do they call it Nordic Combined? I mean, all I think is Nordic Track, the old exercise equipment.
So the Nordic Combined, and let me double
Well, it
check.
blends ski jumping and cross country skiing. They have individual and team events.
Yeah. So basically, you're going to cross country ski for a point, and then you're going to get to a point where you have to do a jump.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then you will continue cross country skiing. So you have to be able to jump and cross country ski. Those are very different skill sets when it comes to skiing. Cross country skiing is a lot of endurance. It's a different set of skills than jumping is. And so you have to be good at both. And so that requires a more rounded athlete than maybe just jumping or just cross country.
This is interesting, though, to say because they call them the individual Gunderson normal hill and the individual Gunderson large hill, 10 km. But Gunderson refers to Gunderson method, a scoring system for ski jumping developed by Norwegian athlete Gunder Gunderson. What a name. The score for the ski jumping event is determined by the distance of the jump, 2 points per meter for the normal hill, 1.8 points per meter for the large hill, and style, formally scored from 1 to 20, but no style score is typically lower than 7. The starting order for the cross-country race is determined by the ski jumping results. The jump points are converted into time penalties.
Oh, wait. No, I'm remembering this wrong. I stand corrected as you're saying this. No, they have to do both. Sorry, they have to do ski jumping and they have to do cross country. They're separate, not together.
The conversion of points into time penalties depends on the type of race. Depending on competition, 15 points equals 1 minute. Winner of the jump starts first in the cross country race. First athlete to cross the finish line in the cross country race is the winner. See, okay, now that makes sense. That makes sense. So basically, you do your ski jumping, and then they base the winner. They base the start based on the times, kind of like the downhills where they have one racer go, then they count somebody down, then you go. But it's like this case is that the ski jump determines the order, and then at that point, it's like a penalty. So, like if you're 30 seconds behind the leader, you got to catch up. Yeah,
you've got to catch up. So that's why it's so important to be a well-rounded jumper as well as good at cross country. So let's just say maybe you're not as good of a jumper. Okay, then you have to factor in, if I'm going to be this far behind, I'm going to have to push this much harder in my cross country. So you have to balance what you're focusing on when you're training. Because even if you're a fabulous jumper, if you don't have the endurance for the cross country, you're still not going to win.
Yeah. Well, let's take these next two. Well, let's take the two together. The short track speed skating with 9 events and the speed skating with 14 events. It looks like the speed skating itself are longer races from oval 500 meters to 10,000 meters with team pursuits and mass starts. The short track are the close quarter. I like the way it says chaotic, from 500 to 1,500 meter and relays.
I love short track better than the long ones. I do. I like the chaos. I think the long ones
That's why you like Fortnite so much.
I like the energy. I feel like when you have the energy of the competitors close quarters, I feel like they feed off of each other and you get the interpersonal dynamics more than you do. Endurance sports are amazing.
Yeah.
But to me, there's less of a human element.
Well, I'll
You
give
don't
you an
get that much.
example. I'll give you an example like marathon or like the longer races in the summer
Yeah,
games. I check out. It's like, okay, I'm going to be here 10 minutes later still watching people run. That's why I don't watch NASCAR. In all honest opinion, but yeah,
I like
I
drag racing.
exactly. It's closer, faster, and more exciting. Kind of
Yeah.
like the speed skating. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead and talk about these two the way you want to, and I'm
No, no,
looking
no.
at
You have it straight up. So
this.
the other thing is, um, they stagger them out, so
Mhm.
it's easier to tell in the short ones who's winning and who's not. In the longer races, it's harder to tell because of the staggering.
Right.
And so someone might look like they're winning, but they're not actually winning. And so you really have to like count laps, follow the thing. It's one of those things that it's just harder to come in and out of, and they take longer.
Oh, and they had to switch sides too. I think when
Yes,
they're head to head, it's
they have to switch
some
inside
says
lane,
inside
outside
and
lane, so
outside.
that they one team doesn't have an advantage over the other.
That's the most that's one of the craziest things. But then again, when you do it long enough, you get used to that and the rules. So,
Yeah,
but
and
yeah.
we've
Mhm.
had really great, like Apollo Antonono made that
Oh
sport
yes. Yep.
famous. I'm always going to be an Ono fan. Um, but it's just one of those things where it just depends on what you're into. If you want something on in the background that you can watch while you're doing something else, the long ones are probably more for you. If you want to be fully engaged for a little bit, watching something that's dynamic, the shorter ones are going to be for you.
Right. Right. Exactly. So hey, they got the in terms of the let's see which one did I bring up first. I think this is short track. Yeah, the short track. They've got let's see. They've got the women's 500, the women's 1,000 meters, women's 1,500 meter, women's 3,000 meter relay, men's 500 meter, men's 1,000 meter, men's 1,500 meter, and then of course a men's 5,000 meter relay. They have a longer relay than the women do, and then the mixed team relay between with men and women, and that's the short track. So I mean, I can't
I
imagine.
really love the relays. I like the relays a lot.
Yeah, it adds some excitement. And how do they do? That's right, because the guy has to start. They have to start and then pass each other at the right time. Otherwise, it's a penalty, right?
Yep. It
Yeah,
it takes precision, communication, teamwork,
yeah,
and skill. I like the personal elements. I watch the sports because of the athletes.
yeah,
And so I love it
exactly.
when the human element is front and center.
And the speed skating, of course, for men and women, it's 500, 1,000, 1,500 meters, and then 3,000, 5,000 for men, 5,000 for women, and a men's 10,000 meters. Jeez. Mass start, team pursuit, and team pursuit. I just, I like speed skating. I see, I can't, the slowness and the art, I'm not a ski, figure skater fan, but I do like the speed skating. It's really a lot. So, all right. So then we get to the skeleton. Okay, we talked about that a little bit already, but the skeleton is a three events face first sledding down tracks. They have a men's, women's, and a new event, the mixed team.
That's going to be
Now
insane.
now the skeleton board and the luge board are different though, right?
Yes, I do believe they're designed differently. However, I could not articulate the differences.
Yeah. It's just head first on the geez.
One's head
That's
first on stomach, one's back,
yeah.
feet
The
first on back.
skeleton is face first on
On
stomach.
stomach. And so the way you operate it, the way it's designed is going to be different because the way to control it will be in the front versus in the back and stuff. And then the team ones versus the individual ones are going to be sized and shaped differently too.
Right. Then we have ski
And they're like
jumping, which
laying on each other. It's all weird.
it is all weird. Yes. Then we got great old ski jumping, and we got the women's normal hill and large hill. Same with the men's, and of course we got the men's super team and the mixed team. Uh, hey, I still love it. That's one I love to see more often. Of course, we had the wonderful Agony of Defeat clip from the 70s in a Wild World of Sports again. But of course, that was one event, one wipeout on something, and he survived, I guess, after that. That was like, but it
Yes.
looked really painful though.
Well, I feel like the thing was sometimes there's a benefit to going first, and sometimes there's a massive downside to going first.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with some of these tracks in any of the Olympics, whether it's summer or winter, being the first person down the track in the luge or the bobsled or any of these jumps, it's an unknown. You get better snow because it hasn't been torn up by other people, but it also is an unknown. You don't know how it's going to play. And so once you've watched someone else go down, you can kind of learn from them and improve your game. But then the snow conditions deteriorate. So it's a catch-22 on which is going to be better.
Yeah. A new event for this one is a women's large hill this year. So it should be a good. I love ski jumping. That's another one.
And yes, we know about the controversy. We're moving on. Love you. Bye.
I think we delayed that long enough. I think everybody left with that one. But yeah, that might be for tomorrow night on our Saturday night with Dad Man. We could take up.
We're gonna keep this more professional.
Yes. Ski mountaineering. It's a brand new one, but it's been around forever. And we had a reference to it back to the military patrol event.
Mm-hmm.
So give us a history about this. This has 3 events. It's a new sport involving uphill, downhill races with skis and skins, a men's, women's sprints, and a mixed relay.
So here's what I wanted, and I didn't have time because I was doing the research on all the service members and other stuff for my channel. What is it meaning by skins? Is that like snowshoes?
I don't know. I've not had a chance to look at that either, but I'll go to another.
Because snowshoes would make sense. I'm not sure what they're meaning by skin. Sorry.
Otherwise, how else are you going to get through the snow without snowshoes?
Well, I'm wondering if it's an alternate to it. So with all of these different ski events, all of the skis are different. They're different shapes, sizes, widths, lengths, based on what you're doing. And
and I think it's based on your size, your weight, stuff like that. Because I think I've read about snow mountaineering before that with the types of skis, there's not like a one style of ski. It depends on your body type and height. There's different things, considerations.
So the cross-country skiing is typically for more flat terrains. This one is more for mountains. This was actually used a lot by the SOE and the resistance in World War II. This is how they would get people over the Pyrenees into Spain or over the Alps into Switzerland out of Nazi-occupied territories to get them to safety or get people in. And so there's a huge history of people traveling this way. Actually, in Italy, in this area of Italy, there was a young man. His family were purse and wallet makers. They were rather wealthy. He had spent some time up in a Catholic school in the mountains in the Alps, bordering Switzerland. And he knew the mountains there really well. Or was it Austria? Anyway, up in the Alps. And he became a resistance fighter. And he spent time taking people through the mountains on his skis and stuff. He would hike through the mountains with them. And then he would ski back to get back quickly. And so he did that to save numerous amounts of people's lives. Men, women, and children, mostly Jews. And that was how he was able to get them to freedom. And he was actually shot at multiple times. And his ability to ski very quickly saved his life. But yes, so this is through the mountains, whereas normal cross country is on more of a flat terrain.
Right. This should be fun. This should be fun to watch, being something new for sure. The last event that we have tonight is snowboarding. 11 events, tricks
I
and
love
races on boards and stuff
snowboarding.
like that. What do you not love with the Winter
Well, I
Olympics?
love the Winter Olympics, but actually, Sergeant Dad snowboards. My dad snowboards. I don't
Uh-huh.
snowboard. I want to live, so I don't snowboard.
I'm like you. I'm afraid of hitting the ground too hard.
But I have
Even
quite
when
a
I
few
was younger,
snowboarders
though,
in my
even
family.
even when I was younger, I'd never really got into stuff like that. The events we have in here: parallel giant slalom for the men, the women, snowboard cross for both men and women, mixed team cross, snowboard cross. The women and men have the snowboard half pipe, the slopes type, and both have big air. So hey, should be fun if you
Bigger,
like those. Yeah, go ahead.
bigger, but I have to say, half pipe has always been my favorite, and I miss Sean. I wish Sean was still competing.
Yep, yep. I got you with that. Verona. Let's see. This site had different two different places. With what they're saying today, see what's today, the 6th, curling mixed doubles round robin figure skating, women's hockey pool play opening ceremony. Tomorrow, tomorrow they award medals already in alpine men's alpine downhill, women's cross country ski. I wonder if it's biathlon, but it's skiathlon. I think they had a mistake there. Women's ski jumping, normal hill, men's snowboarding, big air, women's speed skating, 3,000 meters. So on Sunday, the 8th, medals in women's alpine downhill, biathlon mixed relay, men's cross country skiathlon, figure skating team event, men's loose singles, parallel giant slalom, snowboarding, men's speed skating 5,000 meters. So lots of stuff coming up over the weekend to watch if you have streaming, have your access to uh, the Olympic coverage, however you may get it. And of course, it all wraps up February 22nd. They issue. It's interesting how they. It's like they say. It's like the summer. You know, the big thing with the summer was the marathon and some big events on that last day. But medals on the last day on February 22nd. My mom's birthday, by the way. She'll be 88. Medals in the four-man bobsleigh, women's cross country 50 kilometers, women's curling gold, men's hockey gold, and then the closing ceremony at the Verona Arena.
Yeah. Okay. So I have it for you. So I made some mistakes earlier. You're right. The V1 actually includes Borromeo and Livorno.
Uh-huh.
Because it's that cluster of area. There's a lot of just little towns everywhere in Italy. Like you go 10 miles, there's another town. So the men's alpine is going to be in these two little towns near Borromeo, and the freestyle and snowboarding will be in Livorno, and Tesoro is going to have the arena for the ski jumping and Nordic combined and cross country, but it's going to go between. And I did not practice these names, and I've been hearing Americans say them: Padrazo and Tesoro. So, and that's in the Trentino area. And if I mispronounce them, Italians, please forgive me. Don't steal my Italian card. So yeah, that's the thing. We say Milan because everybody all over the world knows Milan, but
Right.
Milan doesn't have the ability to host all of these events. And so they're going to be in all of these other little towns. So what they did was they brought all of the athletes into 4 general areas to do the Parade of Nations last night. But they're not even in those 4 areas. They're in like 8 different towns. And some of them are going to go from one town to another town, especially with the cross country skiing and Nordic combined and the mountaineering ones. So when we say it's going to be in this place or that place, it's a generalization. Unless you really want to study Italian geography in detail, don't stress it.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Couple things that we've got left here in the minutes that we have left. Uh, let's see. We've got to finish up this article here. We've got overall medal tally favorites. 61% chance for Norway to have the most golds because they're strong in skiing and biathlon. The
Yep.
USA 17% excels in freestyle figure skating. Germany 16% bobsleigh and luge power. In the alpine skiing, USA uh, and a Swiss biathlon, Norway and a France competitor. Figure skating, the USA's Ilya Malalin,
Mm-hmm.
the guy, and Japan's Kaori Sakamoto on the women's side. Freestyle skiing, snowboard, U.S. dominates, but there's a Canadian, Mark McMorris.
Yes. And he's actually being sponsored by, I think, Sean's
Oh
company.
wow, okay, wow. Uh, let's see, ice hockey, U.S. Canada women, Canada USA Sweden men, 8 NHL boost. Speed skating, USA's Aaron Jackson, Netherlands dominance in longer distance. The new event, ski mountaineering, Italy and France favorites as Alpine nations. So,
I wonder why. It's not like they did it in a world war.
they put it there. It's like Americans putting tackle football in the Olympics. But hey, oh man, so there's like I said, there are different schedules out there and different medal days. But all those you'll have to look at those. It's really something to look at. Um, by the way, um, I'm trying to figure something out real quick. But hey, I'll do this. Is kind of funny. But did you know that Miss and I are international travelers, Sam?
I know you travel, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, we've been to Denmark.
Really?
Yeah, and
Where in
Norway,
Denmark?
and Norway, in South Carolina.
Oh, good golly. Yeah, just like I've been to London.
Oh,
London,
you
New
have?
Jersey.
Oh, West Kegel. What about in London, New Jersey? Yeah, see, this is up a road right here, 321. We've been there. There's Denmark, Norway, and I think Sweden is somewhere in here too. And there's a Finland off to the side somewhere.
I have a picture of me in front of the sign that says London, New Jersey.
Oh, that's cool. We took somebody called our oldest kids Cynthia all the time, so we went to town Cynthiana in Kentucky just to get a picture in front of a sign. So I think with that we've been going 2.5 hours. So is there anything else you feel like covering? Because I think we've done it with the events. We've done kind of with the sort of the lineup and where it ends.
Dude, I want to say thank you to everyone who stuck with us through this whole thing. I'm a super nerd when it comes to the Olympics, and I can't even tell you how many times I get going on my nerdiness, and the people are like, okay, we're good. So I appreciate you all listening to me and my love of the Olympics.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you coming on doing this with me. And of course, as always, Sam, please tell everybody what you do, what your mission is with your channel, if you don't mind.
So it's called Life of a Military Wife, but it's so much more than that. I wanted to, the whole goal is to give a voice to the military community and to share their stories and their struggles and resources with everyone. So my channel is not just for the military community. If you want to better understand the military community, how you can get involved and help the military community, we've got something for everyone. The other thing is, as members of the military community, we travel. So we talk about travel and being expats and living in other countries and handling separations and long distance dating and a lot of other practical things that people have to deal with in their lives. In addition, I feel passionately that every single person who has served our country, their sacrifice matters. It is important and it is worth preserving. Far too many of the records of our service members were never preserved or lost completely. And so individuals who are now trying to find the story of their family's military heritage struggle to do so. To prevent that from happening in the future, I want to work with veterans to preserve their story. So many say, I don't have anything. I didn't do anything. I have a list of questions. And if you can go through all of those questions and at the end sincerely tell me you've got nothing to say, I will be shocked because that never happens. Every single time I hand over my list of questions, everybody goes, "Oh, wait, yeah. Oh, I know. Oh," and they remember things. Your story matters. Your sacrifice matters. So, whether you are a veteran or you know a veteran, please let them know about what I'm doing. This is free. I will never, ever charge a veteran or their family for this. Other people do. I think that is wrong. They have already sacrificed enough for our country. They deserve to be honored and respected and remembered at no cost to them or their family. What you will get is an interview, full length interview, as long as you want. It can be private. I will just give a copy to your family. But if you want it, I can also give a copy to the Library of Congress for their Veteran History Project. And I can put it up on my podcast to A, advertise and let more people know what I'm doing. B, also make it easier for your family to access for years to come. So please let me know, reach out. Here's something I'm doing new, and I'm sorry, I'm going to plug this here because you tell me to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I do this for free as I bump my tape, like my mic and everything, because I'm a hot mess. No, I do this completely for free at no cost to service members. I will never, ever, ever charge them or their families, but it does cost money to produce and research and buy the equipment and maintain the resources to do this. So if you are interested in supporting the cause of preserving these stories and making this all happen, there are ways on my channel. You can find the links to help contribute to the cause.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Well, thank you, folks. That is the great Sam Woolf. Because it's funny that you say that you did that because, well, shoot.
You're the one who's always telling me to let
no, I know, but the stupid YouTube on the screen is like it's popped up the. I can't put. Anyway, I'm gonna have to do this a different way.
Oh no! Did I ruin the algorithm for you?
No, actually, no. Here we go. No, I had to figure out how to.
I'm sorry, I broke this.
No, it's not you. but no, here, folks. Putting this in the chat. She has a specific place that you can do it. It's her Ko-Fi link. Here is the link to it. One time or monthly donations if you believe in the work. Mrs. has used this before, as you know, and it's a very good way to help support the creators, especially the ones that are not monetized on YouTube yet. And even then, they can get payments quickly, more of it. And here, this is our page, just so you can see what it looks like here. We don't just pitch anybody's work and stuff around here. Sorry, there you go. There's more of it. But we really believe in the work she's doing, and great person. And I'm talking to her about my granddad of other things, and so a lot of stuff coming down the road. So
I've been helping the Dadman family a lot with their stuff, and I'm really excited for you guys to see all the projects we've been working on. And I really appreciate their support and encouragement, because the algorithms don't like they don't like military stuff, and so the likelihood of me ever getting monetized or ever any of that is really low. It's really, really hard for military channels. So all the love and support I've gotten from this community has meant a lot to me.
Absolutely. So like I said, Sam, I appreciate it. I know you said talking about nerding out. I love your excitement. And of course, we got the FIFA coming down later in the year. Hopefully, everything's still going then. Wes Cagle calling you a hot mess. We'd never know it by your driving of the reboot van.
No, I just look like a psycho when I'm driving the reboot van.
Wow, that's an interesting way to phrase it.
What would you call somebody who's randomly driving over things and flipping over and losing?
Just somebody trying to win. Or maybe it is psycho. Maybe, or Death Race 2000. We can call it that too. So
okay.
But folks, all right, that's Sam. That's Sam's work. That's her links and stuff. Of course, join me next week. Crap, I don't have the slide. But next Friday night I think we planned on 9 p.m. Uh, Sam will be rejoining me again, along with Jess and the missus for Fortnite with the Fortnite Divas. You definitely want to see that. Should be a lot of fun with Chaos and Fortnite. But before that, tomorrow night, I'll be live at 9 p.m. with hopefully at least Wes Keiko, maybe some others that can jump on. What we're doing is consolidating the squirrel streams from random late nights because I need to sleep these days to Saturday Night with Dad Man and Friends and fruitcakes to porta potties. We bring that with us, but the missus has upgraded our outhouse with a new wanted picture for extreme chaos and a squirrel on top. So, and I didn't know fruitcake had icing, but she put icing on the fruitcake. So join us for that tomorrow night. We also have Mondays with Jess, duos with Jess. Join us for that. It's always fun with me and Jess running around causing mayhem. Last week we had to do it later than normal, but hey, maybe that's something. We'll see. And then, of course, Wednesday night I'll be back live with the missus at 8 p.m. with our next detour with Davins. We'll just sit, have some conversation. And what slide I did not put here also was Tuesday night at 9 with JT Kirk with talking more sports for next week. So on that note, thank you everybody for being here. Sam, any last thoughts that before we shut down?
Have fun watching the Olympics. It doesn't look like it's too crazy this year, so hopefully, it'll be enjoyable and support. Yeah, just support the athletes. Honestly, I'd love for everyone to check out our service members, but if you don't get the chance, just do your best. And thank you. I'm not even joking. It can get really discouraging with what I'm doing because there is so little support. And it was when I found Lorena and Erica and you and Pro and a bunch of them that I started to feel the support and encouragement for what I'm trying to do for the veteran and military community. And I could not do it without all of the love and encouragement from all of you guys. You really do make the difference. And I've told Dad Man that there's been a couple times where I'm like, I don't feel like what I'm doing matters and I've wanted to quit. And I just, the love I get from you guys has kept me going. So.
Absolutely. Miss and I've said the same thing too, because many of the days it's been hard at times, and she'll tell you about mornings of positivity, and then some mornings you've been like, no, I'm not positive. And and as soon as you go live, you guys in the chat, that's why talk away and have fun and all that. Make it fun, light, and just because you don't know the difference you make in your creators day too, especially they're having a rough day, and it brightens their day too. Yes, go ahead.
And please make sure for those of us creators who don't always do lives, when you do watch our videos, comment and like, because that helps the algorithm.
Yeah.
The great thing about doing lives is if you can get a chat going and you can get a conversation going, that triggers the algorithm and that will promote it. And promote the channel. But for those of us who do pre-recorded content because we're doing interviews and stuff, if we don't get a certain amount of engagement, then it just buries those videos. And that's just tragic for those veteran stories to be buried by an algorithm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I made a mistake the other day, it was like I was commenting to the premiere and it was like, I thought you were live, because I've seen premieres where the conversation goes while it's playing, but it posted like in all the post video, it was like I left 10 comments.
So
after the video played.
I have my premieres set up is the comments you leave during the premiere will often stay afterwards in the comment section, and I do that on purpose to generate traffic with the algorithm.
Okay.
It's my desperate ploy to trick the algorithm.
That's why I'm sitting there apologizing to you. Like, I'm sorry I left all these comments. And
no, I honestly leave 10 or 20. Just, each one can be one word. I don't care. Leave as many comments as you want, people.
Well, the goddess does that a lot of times on the streams on the way out. He'll do one word things on the stream as we're shutting down. So, but Wes said, a Divas 4-night stream on Friday the 13th. I'm really asking for it. I know.
Oh, I know. This is going to be fun.
Mrs. saw the date.
Bring your popcorn. This is going to be good.
I love the way you say that and laugh, that evil laugh. But hey, all right, folks, y'all have a great night. We will see you later. Mrs. Will be live in the morning for her cartoon show at 10 o'clock, I believe. And
2 p.m.
Oh, yes.
Mountain time. 2 p.m. Mountain time, I will be having a live stream. I only do them once a month, so come check it out. It's a live stream. It's a book club, but it's about World War II. It's a book about World War II. You should come check it out.
Islands. It's a fictional historical fiction
about the occupation of Guernsey, which is one of the Channel Islands between Britain and France during World War II.
Which really happened.
Yes, that really happened, and the stories contained in it are based off of experiences that were really had, but the characters are made up.
So, folks, even if you have not read the book, you
just
can
come
learn
and check out. It'll be fun.
Yeah, exactly. So,
2 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Eastern.
There's the link again, and make sure you're subscribed, folks. And on that note, everybody, I've got to wait 8 seconds because then I'll be at 2 hours, 40 minutes, and I'm big with round numbers.
We can do it.
Yeah,
right?
And on that note, we made it. And
yay, Legata, sub, chat, comment, like. Yes, Legata.
That's the way to do it. Yep.
Oh, now we talked too long. We started into the next minute.
Oh gosh, we got to go to 2:45 now. Return for more.
Wow, Legata. See, this is what I need. When you come to my channel, do this. Do this. I won't be upset. I'll be happy.
Yeah, I know, because you had to calm me down the other day. I was like, dang it, because I'm like, I didn't mean to leave 7 comments. Oh, Figgy! Hey, Figgy!
Hey, Figgy!
I hope y'all all enjoyed this tonight, and we may do an update or two as life allows us over the course of the next 2 weeks. We're planning on trying to do something on the closing night also. So
yeah, it's a Sunday, so we'll just have to see how life is treating us.
Exactly. So, folks, thank you for being here. Watch the video, share it out with people, like it and all that. Leave comments on it too. And see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. at the Mrs. channel for cartoons. Or I think she may have a different way that she displays it. So if you, because she does it different, contact me on Twitter or Discord if you got me. I will see that you get connected. So, and thank you, Mrs. Yes, appreciate that so much. All right, and then 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, get Sam Woolf, who's going to have a
2 Mountain Time, 4 Eastern.
2 Mountain Time, 4 Eastern. Oh, okay. See, time zones matter. Hey, Southern Belle. Hey, sorry, we're just wrapping up.
It's okay. You can catch it on the replay.
Exactly. Please do so.
We still love that you're here.
And if not, we'll see you tomorrow at the Mrs. in the morning. And, of course, Sam's channel here tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern, 2 Mountain, as she talks about the historical novels, fictional, historical fiction novel. But, you know, I'm going for the history. So, because that story fascinates me. So, all right. On that note, folks, y'all have a good night. We will see you later. And everybody have a good weekend. But have fun, chill out, love each other, and we'll catch you later. Bye, all.
Ciao.